Louisville, Kentucky is the site of tonight's 21st annual AAA All-Star Game. Fans, as they arrive at Louisville Slugger Field, are ready to see the stars. And the stars themselves, they're loose and ready to go as well. The AAA All-Star Game is coming up. So many play the game of baseball, yet so few ever make it to the major leagues. But the dream does come true for a chosen few. Before he became a World Series hero and a Yankee legend, Derek Jeter was a Columbus Clipper in AAA.
Jeter on the run, makes the play. Oh, what a play by Derek Jeter.
Paul Konerko was once an Albuquerque Duke before he was a World Series hero.
There's a swing, there's a drive, deep left field, on its way, a grand slam!
And before Todd Helton led his team to the World Series, he once played with the Colorado Springs Sky Sox.
Deep right field, going back into the bullpen. Home run, Todd Helton.
Before they were major league stars, many put the finishing touches on their games in AAA. Tonight in Louisville, the best in AAA. We'll see future stars and others trying to make it back to the show. They're all All-Stars at the highest level of the minors. The 2008 AAA All-Star Game is next. Welcome back to Louisville Slugger Field in Louisville, Kentucky, site of the 21st annual AAA All-Star Game, as Louisville, Kentucky becomes just the first International League city to host the game a second time. Tonight, the Pacific Coast League against the International League. Hi, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the ballpark. I'm Jim Kelch, along with my partner, Eduardo Perez. Welcome to the AAA All-Star Game. A day after the big leagues went 15, Eduardo, we know we're not going to do that tonight.
No, but one thing we do know is the city of Louisville has put on a show, and now today it's time for these players to put on their show.
Well, let's talk about a couple of players from each side. First of all, for the International League, the home run king, no doubt, in this league and in this game is Mike Hessman of Toledo. He leads this league with 30 home runs, and he hit a home run in this game a year ago.
Yes, he did, and this guy's for real. This guy has gone out there. He has proved himself at this level. Already just needs 12 more home runs for 300, the all-time Toledo champ. And one thing we can tell about Mike Hessman, he's coming here to play for real today.
All right, what about the Tucson Sidewinders, man? Right-hander Jamie D'Antona. He won the Home Run Derby here after being in New York playing in the Futures game. He's a late addition to the Home Run Derby here. And how about that? He wins the thing.
How about that? He comes in. He's had a phenomenal week so far. I can tell you one thing about Jamie. He is ready to play, and Jamie has brought his fans and brought his family over here with his great Italian attitude.
Well, there are some talented players here, and there are some prospects here. And to tell you about one of the best ones is a third member of our crew from MLB.com, Jonathan Mayo. Jonathan?
Thanks, Jim. We're talking about Andrew McCutchen, like Jamie D'Antona, came from New York and Yankee Stadium in the Futures game. You'll get a chance to see all of his 5 tools on display here tonight, guys. He can do everything. Play the outfield. He's got a good throwing arm, runs extremely well, and he's got surprising power. He doesn't look like the biggest guy in the world, but with his wrist and his bat speed, he can generate plenty of pop from the right side of the plate.
Everything perfect here in Louisville tonight. The weather is great. The players are ready. The fans are ready. Let's play baseball when we come back.
Here's the windup. The pitch is low.
You want passion? You've come to the right place. This is America. Passion was invented here. In your face, my team rocks. Your team couldn't hit the side of a barn. Passion. And only at Bank of America can you wear your passion on your card. That's my expression banking. You're not just someone with a dull plastic card. You're someone with heart. A little out there, but with heart. Want to let the world know where your passions lie? You can with Bank of America. Bank of Opportunity.
Hey, Chet, you got a sec?
Sure, what's up?
You know those blue price drop circles you're printing for Meyer?
The ones where you save everywhere you see them in the store? Yeah. I did 10,000 of those.
Notice anything wrong?
It's not a circle.
You know what shape this is?
Trapezoid?
No.
Quadrilateral?
It's an isosceles rectangle.
It's a rhombus.
It's a rhombus.
Remember, for greater savings, look for the blue price drop circle.
There is a place where the greatest fist fighter of all time can create an institution dedicated to world peace, that can turn a scrap metal yard into one of the coolest ball fields created in decades, where people can be open, honest, down to earth, while living in a top 20 American city. Such a place isn't possible, you say? Oh, it's more than possible. It's Possibility City, Louisville. It's possible here.
Keep up with the home team all season long with MinorLeagueBaseball.com's exciting game day feature. With pitch-by-pitch coverage, live stats, and real-time action, it's the next best thing to being at the game. Visit MILB.com or your favorite AAA club's website for more details.
ESPN's presentation of the AAA All-Star Game, brought to you by Bank of America, Bank of Opportunity, Meyer, higher standards, lower prices, and Louisville, it's possible here.
A couple of months ago, the 134th running of the Derby at that place. And now, just across the way, baseball from Louisville Slugger Field, the site of today's AAA All-Star Game, the PCL and the IL. There's the manager of the Pacific Coast League Stars, Pat Listash. He, like Jamie D'Antona, was in New York for the Futures game. He was a coach on that team, and in an emergency situation agreed to come here and fill in as the manager of the PCL Stars. He's in his second year as the Iowa Cubs skipper. Here's his lineup card now for tonight's game. Christian Colonel leading off and playing second base. John Gall will be in right field. Terry Tiffey, their league's leading hitter, is in left field. Nelson Cruz, the center fielder. Jamie D'Antona, winner of the Home Run Derby on Monday, is the DH, and Matt Brown will be at third. The bottom three then, Mark Sacamano at first base, Jason Smith at short, and Vinny Rotino will bat ninth, and he does the catching. On the mound for the International League Stars tonight, the left-hander David Purcey, Eduardo.
And this kid throws fastballs, curveballs, sliders, and changeups. Loves throwing inside. We're going to see what he features today. He told me today he's going to attack the inside part of the plate. As you see, the first pitch is already on the inner part.
Inside and a ball one to Christian Colonel. We are underway from Louisville Slugger Field. 21st annual AAA All-Star Game, and the 11th that actually features the IL against the PCL. There's David Purcey, 7 wins, 6 losses on the year, but a fine ERA of 2.76, which is good for 4th in the International League. He has 18 starts and 13 quality starts this year. In the air now out to left field is the first batter of this game. Under that is Jeff Bailey. Bailey makes the catch. He plays outfield and first base for his Pawtucket team during the regular season, starting in left field tonight, and he gets the first put out of this contest.
That's exactly what Purcey's going to be doing. He's going to go attack the zone, attack early. As a lefty, you have to establish the zone early on, and if you can do that, he can open it up later on, and the umpire will be giving him those calls.
We'll see as he throws. He's not an overpowering pitcher, Eduardo, but he is #1 in the International League in strikeouts with 114 in 111 innings.
Well, that makes you overpowering right there with those strikeouts, and it's deceiving. He makes sure he stays ahead, as I said before, and stays on the mound after every pitch. He's very quick. He gets to the rubber, makes the hitter not get too comfortable.
Made his major league debut earlier this year with the Blue Jays back in the middle of April. At home against Detroit, David Purcey is facing now John Gall. Gall fouls one away, and he's at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gall hitting .321 on the year, 11 home runs and 71 RBIs. And when we talk about, and we'll talk about it a lot, the PCL versus the IL, you're an expert because you played in both leagues.
Yes, I played in the PCL. I played in the American Association, which now does not exist, and a lot of the teams have gone to the International League. As you see a changeup right there and gets Gall out in front, and that's exactly what Purcey does. He changes speeds on you and does not let you get too comfortable at the plate.
Yeah, when I say you played in the IL, you played in a city, Indianapolis, which is now in the International League.
Exactly, and I'll tell you one thing, I played in this town before, not at this stadium. This is an unbelievable facility, and Louisville has to be very proud of it, but right now these guys are playing here and they're having some fun.
Well, we'll get a chance to check out the ballpark. Jonathan's going to take us around a little bit later on throughout the evening and show us different aspects of this ballpark, which opened up in 2000. Now, and it's hard to believe, but in its 9th year already and hosting this All-Star game. Louisville, the city of Louisville, for the 2nd time. They hosted the game, as you mentioned, back at the old Cardinal Stadium. Terry Tiffey grounds one to the shortstop, and Bixler up with it and throws the first in time. And the left-hander, David Purcey, has himself a 1-2-3 first inning. To the mound for the PCL will be the lefty, Willie Collazo, when we come back in the bottom of the first.
Deeply rooted in history and contested on an international stage. A unique battle against the elements at the birthplace of golf. The world's best compete on the legendary links of Britain's Royal Birkdale in the sport's oldest major.
Padraig Harrington has won the Open Championship.
Final rounds of the Open Championship, Saturday and Sunday on ABC.
The title is on the line. Who will be the next HGTV design star? Who had the most guts, glory, glam? Only one will win their own show on HGTV. The season finale of Design Star, followed by the series premiere of Summer Showdown. One big night, Sunday, August 3rd, beginning at 9/8 Central on HGTV.
Go to Channel 1, select Free Zone, and then choose Cable TV Showcase.
What's so big about February 17th, 2009? It's Digital Transition Day. And it's huge. It's the day TV stations across America stop broadcasting in analog and switch to digital. What do you have to do to prepare for this big day? Nothing. Your TVs are already hooked up to Cox, so you're already ready.
No scores. We go to the bottom of the first inning here at Louisville Slugger Field. The PCL goes down in order in number 1 against Dave Purcey. And now let's take a look at the manager of the International League Stars, Dave Miley, the former Louisville manager, the former Cincinnati Reds skipper, now in his second year out at Scranton Wilkes-Barre. And here's the lineup card that he presents for tonight's game. Against Willie Collazo, he will have Joe Thurston leading off at second base. Darnell McDonald will be in right field. Mike Hessman, whom we featured on the Open, will be at third. Chris Carter, the cleanup man, is the DH. Jeff Bailey is in left field, and Brent Cleveland is in center. Then the bottom three, Chris Richard at first, Jason Jaramillo will do the catching and bat eighth, and Brian Bixel, the shortstop, will hit ninth. On the mound for the PCL Stars, Willie Collazo, making only his 12th start of the year. Here's a guy, Eduardo, that started the season out of the bullpen. Middle of May or so, they decided, let's make him a starter, and he's done a pretty good job.
Well, in the past, he's always been a starter, and this is where he feels most comfortable. He pitched last season in the All-Star game, also in Albuquerque. Very sneaky, loves to throw his cutter, loves to throw the fastball and the curveball, and has a very good changeup. We're going to see him use a lot of breaking balls against left-handed hitters.
28-year-old left-hander brings it to the league's leading hitter in the IL, Joe Thurston, who fouls it past first for a strike one. He's hitting .319 with 7 homers and 47 runs batted in. And here's a fellow tying a AAA All-Star Game record tonight, Eduardo, his 4th appearance.
Lee Stevens just tied Lee, and I'll tell you one thing. I played with Lee in '93. He was proud of that record.
And you also then played with him in the All-Star game, right, that year at in Albuquerque.
Exactly. And one thing about Lee Stevens, he always just wanted his time, and he was able to get it with the Expos.
Thurston lines one into right. That's a base hit and a good start for the homestanding International League Stars. And we should say that, of course, this game being here in Louisville, the fans will be pro-IL here tonight.
You see the pitch right here. Willie Collazo throws a breaking ball, stays up, and Thurston, being the leader in the league and in the IL, takes advantage of it and gets on base.
He's a pretty good bunter. They had to guard against him bunting. He's a pretty good bunter in terms of number of hits he has this year, with a dozen as well. But he's on to start the bottom of the first inning. The batter will be Darnell McDonald.
See Willie Collazo throwing over to first base. Going back to Willie from Puerto Rico. One thing, he pitched last season in Venezuela because Puerto Rico did not have winter baseball, and he dominated over there. As you see him throwing a sidearm fastball there, and don't look too much at the velocity. This kid is sneaky. He's only 5'9", but he pitches like he's 6'3".
On the Rochester Red Wings and the Minnesota Twins organization, Darnell McDonald hitting .272, 11 home runs, 54 runs batted in. He is a seasoned IL veteran. He's played at Rochester, he's played at Ottawa, Durham, Buffalo, Columbus. He's made the circuit in the IL.
5 organizations. Darnell keeps battling, and he's looking for that opportunity.
Toward right field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Now let's watch Thurston turn the corner. He heads to third. He gets in there standing up, and it's first and third with nobody out.
Collazo throws a nice pitch on the changeup. See him throwing a pitch away right there. Changeup tails away. Good piece of hitting of McDonald. Stays, keeps the bat head through the zone. But look at the running right there by Thurston. He knows as soon as it's made contact, he's thinking third base. Never stalled. Never looked at Rick Sweet, the third base coach. Did it on his own. That's good base running.
And the batter now is Mike Hessman. We've talked about him a lot already tonight. He has 30 home runs at the break of the minor league season. 30 home runs for Hessman to go along with 63 runs batted in. But you made an interesting point in the open about him in terms of his hits and his home runs.
When he gets on base, his slugging percentage is very high because usually we're calling home runs. He's got 5 triples to go along with that, and very impressive power. But he is susceptible to the strikeout. He has 126 strikeouts this season, and that's what Willie Collazo's looking for right now.
126 strikeouts, also tops in the IL. And if you look at his career numbers, he has struck out about one every 3 times up throughout his career. A career which began way back in 1996 when you saw the graphic. He was drafted initially by the Braves organization, which is where he made his major league debut. Pitch inside to Hessman makes it 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That's a purpose pitch by Willie Collazo right there, throwing the fastball inside on an 0-2 count. Look for him to go soft away right now with Mike Hessman at the plate.
Down and in, a nice stop there by Vinny Rotino, the catcher of the PCL Stars. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Interesting note on Vinny Rotino. He went this past offseason, went to La Romana in the Dominican Republic to catch. And he only caught 57 times last season. Caught 30 games in the Dominican Republic, and he's had 80 behind the plate. He used to be a third baseman / first baseman. He's made a nice adjustment behind the plate.
And what do you think the percentage is of guys who play, and people come out and see minor league games all summer long? They don't know that a lot of these guys go play winter ball right after this season comes to an end. There's strike 3 called to Hessman. He took that ball that he thought was down and in, but he's the first out of the bottom of the first.
We had good action right there on the changeup. Threw it at him, did not throw it away, and the ball just dove down, and good pitch right at the knees. We look at the replay right there, just passed right there.
That view, maybe Hessman was right. First and third now with 1 out in a double play situation set up for Collazo and the PCL with Chris Carter, the DH, coming up there. A lefty versus lefty situation. He offers at the first one another off-speed breaking ball for a strike, strike 1. What about guys going down the winter ball? What do you think the percentage is?
Well, it's not as much as it used to be, and it's something that guys really have to go down and work on their skills. I mean, not the financial reason, but also for reasons of skills, and that's the main purpose of winter baseball. As you see a pop-up right there, good pitch by Willie Collazo, tied up Chris Carter, and we got the second out.
Well, a couple of big home run guys, big RBI guys. First Hessman and Carter with an RBI opportunity. Runners at the corners, nobody out, and all of a sudden runners at the corners with 2 men out. The batter will be Jeff Bailey, still another Pawtucket Red Sox player. Carter from Pawtucket via Boston, and now Jeff Bailey also.
I think 3 of the 5 hitters already from Pawtucket. I mean,
yeah, Thurston was a Pawtucket player as well.
Well represented here.
Outside ball 1 to Jeff Bailey. He's batting 5th in Dave Miley's lineup today. He's been leading off for the Pawtucket team this year, and he says not because that's where I want to hit, but they simply don't have anybody else that they like in that spot better.
And that's the adjustment you have to make, and actually for AAA it's the best thing you can have. You get guaranteed at-bats, get to see a lot of pitching, and the organization feels that that's what he needs to do, see a lot of pitches at the AAA level.
Bailey with 23 long ones and 62 batted in this year. He takes one up and inside, and now it's 3 balls and no strikes to Jeff Bailey.
Going back to Vinny Rotino behind the plate, I spoke with him earlier, and he told me the best thing that happened to him was that he went to the Dominican Republic, saw some nasty pitching over there, and that helped them make the game calling. It's a lot to go with the catching. It's just not receiving and throwing guys runners out at second. It's about developing his skills and the ability of making those calls behind the plate.
Yeah, you got to be able to almost think for the pitcher, don't you?
Absolutely. You want that pitcher. You want to be in sync with them. And in Dominican Republic, they're so rich in pitching. Why not? Best place on earth right now to see quality young pitching.
And shortstops, I guess.
You're absolutely right.
They're loaded with 2 men out here in the bottom of the first inning. Brent Cleveland is the man at the plate now. Mike Hessman's teammate during the regular season at Toledo. He's playing center field tonight, batting out of the 6th spot. He's hitting .297, 14 homers and 62 batted in. He tips one foul, and he's at 1 ball and 1 strike. You know, we talk about Brent Cleveland here. He's hitting .297 as we take a look at Pat Listash and the PCL dugout. That dugout on the first base side, by the way, they're going to be sunburnt before this early part of the game is over, because they are drenched in the sun before the sun goes down. Strike on the inside part now to Cleveland, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's a look at that dugout. You don't see a body in there without shades on, do you?
Oh, no, you don't. One other thing you got to understand with this sun, it's just for a couple innings. Look at the other guys in the shade. They're loving it right now, and they're loving their hitters still at the plate.
See, the home team, they get the shade. There's a pop-up now off the bat of Cleveland on the infield. Going to be handled by Brown, the third baseman. And it was first and third, nobody out, and Collazo works him way right out of the jam. After 1 from Louisville Slugger Field. No score.
Broadway Across America Norfolk presents an incredible new season for 0809. This year features 4 of the hottest shows on Broadway: Monty Python's Spamalot, Cirque Dream's Jungle Fantasy, Avenue Q, and Wicked. Get season tickets today. Visit BroadwayAcrossAmerica.com.
Come join the excitement at the 2010 All-Tech FEI World Equestrian Games.
We'd love to have you.
There is a state where cities are built around golf, where there are more golf courses per capita than any other state in America, where summer temperatures are cooler, green fees lower, and golf balls fly higher. Utah, the state of sport. Elevate your game. Visit playutahgolf.com.
For over 136 years, one bank has been a constant guiding beacon for clients through calm and storm. That bank is BB&T. Built on a foundation of strong values, built to withstand any kind of financial weather. We invite you to experience the BB&T difference today. BB&T, best bank in town since 1872.
I'm Teddy Bruschi. When Heidi and I huddled to discuss our team at home, we decided to get life insurance from SBLI.
SBLI has the perfect game plan for your family if something happens to you.
Hey guys, bring it in, dinner's ready.
Baseball not just for young men. There's a young lady out there having a good time in her pink Louisville Bats hat. Everybody enjoying themselves on a beautiful weather night here at Louisville Slugger Field. Even that guy, the winner of the mascot home run derby earlier this week, Buddy Bat. We go to the second inning, no score here at the 21st annual AAA All-Star Game. Nelson Cruz will lead things off for the PCL. Nelson, he's the center fielder and the cleanup man in Pat Listash's lineup, hitting .339, 26 home runs, 74 runs batted in. Eduardo, we want to talk a little bit about the differences in terms of batting averages between the PCL and the IL when we get a chance, as Cruz pops his pitch up, foul over near the stands, and that's going to be handled over there by Chris Richards. So 1 pitch, 1 out in the top of the second.
One thing about Purcey, he can really throw. He loves to get ahead, and Nelson Cruz tried to jump on that first pitch and was not able to get it out there. But Purcey's very comfortable at the plate. You see how quick he grabs, he gets on that rubber, and does not let those guys dig in too much at the plate.
That'll be Jamie D'Antona, and we're talking about Cruz hitting .339, only good for 4th best in the PCL. If he was in the IL, he'd be leading the league in hitting by 20 points. The league leader in the IL, Joe Thurston, whom we saw get the hit earlier, hitting .319, and there really lies the difference, doesn't it, between the PCL and the IL. The hitting averages are always so much higher.
Oh, most definitely. A lot of them are way above sea level in the PCL. But one thing I can tell you about Nelson Cruz, this guy has already proven, doesn't matter, he plays in Okie City, so it's not that they're way above sea level or anything. He can hit, and he's proven his case so far, even though on the first pitch he made that out. This guy's 27 years old already, had been traded 3 times in his career, and he's put up some gaudy numbers. We'll get to it when he gets back up at the plate.
He spent more than half the season last year in the big leagues, not playing in the minor leagues at the Texas Rangers after playing 40-odd games at Oklahoma 1 year ago. Here's Jamie D'Antona now, and he's kind of been the PCL star of stars first couple of days here, and he was a late addition, as we mentioned on the top of the broadcast, to the home run derby, and lo and behold, he won it, although there was nothing in terms of home runs in the derby here like we saw on Monday at Shea Stadium, at the Yankee Stadium.
Not at all. And you see that pitch by Purcey. He works every corner, sort of like the North Carolina 4 corners offense. This guy goes out there and just pitches to the corners effectively. Right there, he threw up in the zone, made D'Antona follow. Made D'Antona chase. Watch this pitch right here. Up in the zone, no chance for D'Antona. He's got to get a bigger bat.
Well, we're going to help him out with that later, aren't we?
Oh, you tell me.
We'll see what he needs to do. Maybe something a little heavier would help him. What do you think?
Something a little bit longer, too.
2 out for Matt Brown, the third baseman. Brown from Salt Lake City, the Bees, and the Anaheim Angels organization, hitting .326. David Purcey, one of 9 pitchers on the IL roster. He's into his 2nd inning here.
And we can really tell why this guy has the numbers that he has. And under 3 ERA, he works hard, and the velocity on his fastball is phenomenal. 95 at the knees. This kid feels very comfortable. Great build, 6'4", has fun. Today I saw him in the clubhouse. He was playing cards with a lot of the Red Sox. This guy belongs to the Toronto Blue Jays organization, and he was loving the fact that he was being able to do that in the clubhouse with these guys.
He gets a borderline pitch there, and he's at 2 balls and 1 strike. He's trying to go through the first 2 innings of this game perfect. And again, he's won 7 this year and lost 6, but it's the ERA at 2.76, and particularly on the road this year, he's been phenomenal. His ERA at home, 3.3, which is okay, pretty darn good. But his ERA in 8 starts on the road, 2.09. The guy loves pitching away from Syracuse.
Phenomenal. He loves room service. I mean, he probably loves room service. One thing, that foul ball, I ducked. I didn't know where it was going, but I ducked quick. We're overexposed out here right now.
Balls come flying back here. Luckily, I've got a former pro player here with me. You can handle all that, barehanded or not.
You never saw my career fielding percentage, did you? I'd be nervous if I was you.
I didn't see the number.
I'd be nervous, big guy. I'd be nervous.
2 out and nobody on here in the top of the 2nd. This scoreless game from Louisville, Kentucky. And a late cut and a swing and a miss by Matt Brown. And so 3 strikeouts in 2 innings for the International League's leader in strikeouts, Dave Purcey. And let's watch him get some here.
The ESPYs, hosted by Justin Timberlake, Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
We're the sights, sounds, and color of Colorado, all come together in the majestic embrace of America's most beloved mountain, Pikes Peak. Lose yourself among the wonders. Find yourself in Colorado Springs. Call toll-free 1-877-PIKES Peak for vacation ideas of a lifetime. Colorado Springs at Pikes Peak. It's as Colorado as it gets.
I've been traveling over mountains, even through the valleys too. I kept traveling night and day. I kept running all the way, baby, trying to get to you.
There is a place where the greatest fist fighter of all time can create an institution dedicated to world peace, that can turn a scrap metal yard into one of the coolest ball fields created in decades, where people can be open, honest, down to earth, while living in a top 20 American city. Such a place isn't possible, you say? Oh, it's more than possible. It's Possibility City, Louisville. It's possible here.
Louisville Slugger Museum in downtown Louisville, Kentucky. They've made over 8,000 models of bats in their 124-year history. The lightest, a 30-ouncer by Joe Morgan. They also have made a 48-ounce bat. And Danny Luckett, he's been making bats for a long, long time here at the ballpark. Louisville Slugger Museum now, Eduardo, we were down there last night for the gala with all the festivities around the All-Star event, and you kind of got into things down there. You were liking it.
Oh, I loved it. I'll tell you, I met Danny Luckett yesterday, 39 years of experience, and I told him, I said, I need a P89. That's what I used, and that's what I had a lot of fun with. He made me one in less than 10 seconds, it seemed like. Put it in that lathe, had fun with it. Here it is right now, and I'm going to be handing this bat down to Jamie D'Antona down there so he can use it in his next at-bat and make some contact. I'll even write down here.
Yeah, we want to make sure we get the right bat.
Hi, Mom. With a smiley face. Hit it right here.
Well, maybe we'll get to see that a little bit later on. So Jamie D'Antona is going to use that bat.
Here we go.
Bottom of the second inning, no score in this game. Leading things off for the IL is Chris Richard, and here's a new pitcher. Josh Mickey is into the game for the PCL. Foul ball away. Here's a look at Josh Mickey's numbers. 37 games, 2-0, 9 saves, and a very fine ERA of 1.46 as he enters action tonight. He's facing Chris Richard to lead things off.
Chris, a former teammate of mine in St. Louis, first at bat in the major leagues a year ago tomorrow, hit a home run in Minnesota. So we went with it. Look at this pitch by Josh Mickey. Those fastballs, cutters, changeups, and that slider right there frozen. See the shadow right there affecting a little bit the hitters at this moment. Whoever's turn it is to hit right now, I feel for you. That's why I'm up here right now enjoying the scenery.
Now the 26-year-old Mickey gets the strikeout. He's played baseball in this state before. He was, when he came up through the Astros organization, played at Lexington, which is about, 75 miles or so east of here in the South Atlantic League back in 2004. He faces the catcher now, the switch-hitting Jason Jaramillo.
So far, we've only seen left-handed pitchers. Those are the ones that seem to dominate in this league. You don't see that many lefties during the season.
Ball cued to the right side there. And there are 2 men out. ESPN's Game of the Week features 2 of the top teams in the American League as Manny Ramirez and the Boston Red Sox take on Vladdy and the Angels. Each team is looking to start the second half of the season with a bang. That's Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell on ESPN at a special start time of 6 Eastern. Coverage begins with Baseball Tonight, driven by Chevy at 5 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. 2 men out for Brian Bixler as we get through the bottom of the second and the top of the entire order for the International League team of Dave Miley. This is Brian Bixler, the shortstop, and he, like a decent amount of players on this team, Eduardo, were late additions because of call-ups to the big leagues. And boy, you love to be on the AAA All-Star team because you know you've had a good half. But you love it even more when somebody recognizes it and you go to the big leagues.
Oh, most definitely. This is a lot of exposure right here for these guys, and it's a great experience to have being here in Louisville right now, knowing you're the only game in town.
Hard to third, but handled by Brown and across the diamond in time. And a 1-2-3 second turned in by Josh Mickey. So we are through 2 here at Louisville Slugger Field. The 21st annual AAA All-Star Game is scoreless.
Who said it was okay to leave change sitting around, hanging out in jars?
lying under cushions with old French fries. This is America. Do we let the sun just shine or the wind just blow? No, we put them to work. With Bank of America's Keep the Change, every check card purchase is rounded up and the change slides from your checking to savings. So far, our customers have saved over $1 billion. Wouldn't you like to have a slice of that? You can with Bank of America, Bank of Opportunity.
Deeply rooted in history and contested on an international stage. A unique battle against the elements at the birthplace of golf. The world's best compete on the legendary links of Britain's Royal Birkdale in the sport's oldest major.
Padraig Harrington has won the Open Championship.
Final rounds of the Open Championship, Saturday and Sunday on ABC.
Now at medieval times, more unbridled excitement, more thrilling combat. Let your imagination take you where you've never been before. More chivalry and romance. The new show at Medieval Times Dinner and Tournament. Call 1-888-WE-JOUST or MedievalTimes.com.
When a crossover can get 24 miles per gallon and take 7 people along for the ride, suddenly the whole world changes. Discover Flex from Ford. Drive one.
No score after 2 innings here in this 21st annual AAA All-Star Game, the PCL and the IL. And a new pitcher on for the International League Stars. He's the local product, right-hander John Atkins.
John Atkins throwing the sinker, fastball, slider, and curveballs. He depends on that sinker a lot. Wants his defense to work for him. He can have that thing working for him. Hitters are going to be struggling. You see him in 37 games, 14 saves. So he's used to coming in 1 inning, getting the job done, and getting on out of there.
14 saves has him 4th in the International League in that department, a 3.86 ERA. He was really much better until recently. He was through the first 2 months of the season with a sub-3. It's gone up a little bit as of late. Mark Sacamano, the first baseman, leads things off for the PCL Stars. He's their first baseman, batting 7th, average at .292. 22 homers, 68 RBIs. He takes strike 1. He's 3rd in the league in long balls. Only a handful of players really that don't have big league experience playing in this game, and Mark is one of them. Fouls that ball out of play. For a 28-year-old, he's only been playing now in his 6th year. That's a little bit older than most guys in terms of experience at that age.
Well, that's what happens when you come out of college. You sign after your senior year at the age of 21, 22, and then get to the professional level, the adjustment of the wooden bat. But he's been able to produce at this level, and that's why he's here right now. I mean, this AAA level is completely different than it is AA, where you see a lot more raw talent. AAA, they're just simmering, waiting for something to happen to a player in the major league level so they can get their opportunity.
That ball fouled back. The count stays 1 ball and 2 strikes. Interesting number about Sacamano. He's hitting .292, as I mentioned, overall, but .313 against right-handers. Normally the percentages say the other way.
And that's completely different. And I'll tell you one thing. A lot of major league teams always look, the parent ball clubs see the lefty-righty comparisons, and that's one thing they want him to work on.
Low and outside from Atkins evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. You can see our man in blue behind the plate, Kevin Causey, from the International League. There are 4 umpires for tonight's game, 2 from the IL and 2 from the PCL. Most minor league games have 3 umpires, sometimes 4. That ball hit hard and foul down the left field line. But this game, they go with 4 umpires.
Exactly. They're going with 4. There you see Delfin Colon at 3rd base. He's from Puerto Rico. Only umpire from Puerto Rico to be in the AAA level, and he's really proud of that.
Tip foul by the man at the plate, Sacamano. He came up looking for you earlier.
Yes, he did. He wanted to make sure that he would tell in Spanish, felicidades a mis padres. 45 years, that's 45 años of being married on the 7/31/08. That would be July 31st of 2008, 45 years. Fernando Colón and Antonia Martinez. Fufo y Toña, felicidades.
I concur.
You concur, absolutely.
45-year anniversary is what you're trying to say.
Exactly, but you got to do the complete interpretation.
Right. Yeah.
I saw the, look at that base hit right there, just sort of like a check swing base hit, and it was a linea up the middle.
Nice job tonight by the starter, the IL David Purcey, and he's with Jonathan Mayo.
Thanks, Jim. I'm with David Purcey, and David, you made quick work out there. It looked like you could have gone a few more out there.
Yeah, definitely. I was starting to warm up a little bit. It's my 5th day rest, so I felt pretty good out there. I just wish I could have had a little bit more, but, you know, it's fun, though.
I would imagine for you just being able to be out there and feeling fine. You're coming off of arm surgery last year. How does it feel just to go out there and be at full strength and not have to worry about that left arm?
Definitely. It's definitely great. The arm surgery, I feel like I'm healing up real well, and I feel pretty strong out there, so everything seems to be going real well.
All right, thanks, David. And guys, a lot of people in the Blue Jays organization pinpointed David as a comeback player of the year for the organization, and so far I think he's fulfilling those expectations.
He did a very nice job with 3 strikeouts. We mentioned he's the International League leader in strikeouts. There's 2, and there's number 3 in the 2 innings that David Purcey had. His pitching, as he mentioned, on his regular days of work. 5 days ago on the 11th he threw, throwing again today. Ball hit to right field, and that will be caught by the right fielder McDonald off the bat of Vinny Rotino for the second out. The International League almost, but didn't quite turn a double play earlier off the bat of Jason Smith.
Yeah, that was a good jump right there by Darnell McDonald in right field. As soon as it made contact, he had a great jump, and that's what keeps him around this level, and he's hoping to get an opportunity at the major league level.
So with 2 men out, we turn the batting order over, and the second baseman Christian Colonel steps back up there. He started this game by flying out to left field. He got off to a great start this year, Colonel, as they throw to first. 340 plus in April, 380 plus in the month of May. Comes into this game at 319.
Beautiful thing about Chris is he's played every position this year except catcher and obviously the pitching position and shortstop, but he's very versatile, and this is what a lot of major league ball clubs look for. They look for guys that can really help them not only as an everyday player but off the bench. He can really solve a lot of problems for many major league ball clubs.
There are many guys, aren't there, once they get to say 25, 26 years old, all of a sudden say, hey, I'll play whatever position you ask me to play because I need to be, as you mentioned, as versatile as I can in order to get up there.
Exactly. That happened to me in my career. I had, you know, your aspiration is to play every day and win a championship and make as much money as you can at the major league level. But sometimes you have to be realistic and say, okay, maybe I can focus on honing my skills as an everyday utility player, and you go out, you work hard in every position, you develop yourself, and you can be a valuable asset for many years at the major league level.
Well, he's at 1 ball and 2 strikes, Christian Colonel, out of the PCL for the Colorado Springs team, and he's, as you mentioned, a versatile guy. Atkins holds the runner, and a tip foul. Atkins has a cousin, Tim, who also pitched here in Louisville some years ago in 2003, and his cousin now is the pitching coach at Marshall University. He was a lefty, John, a right-hander, who spent all of '04 in the big leagues with the White Sox. That's the year the Red Sox won the World Series. The next year, he spent some time in the big leagues, but that's the year the White Sox won, and unfortunate for him, he did not get to participate in the postseason for them. He does get a strikeout here and hangs a 0 on the board in the top of inning number 3. So pitching for the IL Stars has been strong thus far. Scoreless game through 2 1/2.
Every child has the potential to do something great. That's why PNC has pledged over $100 million to a program that prepares young children for school. It's called Grow Up Great. and it's helping kids do just that. PNC, leading the way.
532, 533, 530.
Crazy times call for crazy fun. Enter the Ultimate Vegas Escape Sweepstakes at visitlasvegas.com.
What can you do when you have a rich, unique blend of culture, cuisine, and climate all in one amazing place? You can do it all.
To plan your trip to Albuquerque, visit itsatrip.org.
The revolutionary Kodak EasyShare all-in-one printer. Now print anything you can imagine for as little as half the cost of other printers. To see how much you can save, visit printfreedom.kodak.com.
Now pitching for the PCL. Welcome back to the ballpark, Louisville Slugger Field, AAA All-Star Game. No score yet in this contest. This has been dominated by pitching thus far. David Purcey, John Atkins of the IL, Willie Collazo, Josh Mickey of the PCL, and now a new man into the game. That's left-hander Lindsey Galeen, who takes over.
Lindsey features a fastball, changeup, and slider. Throws a little bit across his body. We'll see that later. But one thing about Lindsey, he makes lefties feel uncomfortable at the plate.
Take a look at the numbers now of Lindsey Galeen. This year, 5-4 with a 3.67 ERA. Seems high, but that is 6th best in the league. He has 49 walks on the year in 90 innings. That's a little bit of a high in terms of ratio there.
That just tells you how filthy he is. That's being like sort of a Mitch Williams, effectively wild. He might get himself in trouble, but he does not allow them to score.
Joe Thurston bats for the second time as we start inning number 3, bottom half, and like he did in the first, he lines a single out into right field. He has 111 hits on the season, and the guy can just flat out stroke it.
That's against 2 left-handed pitchers already feeling comfortable at the plate. Does not cut off. You see him right there, short stride, no stride at all, following through. Beautiful swing.
Well, he is first in the IL in hitting, first in the IL in number of hits, and we talked earlier about lefty-righty matchups. He's hitting .345 or better against lefties than he is against right-handers. Here's Darnell McDonald. He had a base hit his first time. Singled into right as well, hitting .272. AAA All-Star participant 2 years ago. He was a member of the Durham Bulls. He actually played for both Buffalo and Durham that year. Potential ground ball double play. Smith, a little double pump by Colonel at second base. Could not get the ball out of his glove, and they did not turn the double play.
And because of that double pump, that's the reason exactly why they didn't turn 2. A nice feed by Smith short. We're going to see the replay right there. See him, a nice feed. The second could not get it out of the glove, and when you have speed, you tend to beat those out. Good feed, double pump. Forget it.
You could see the grimace right there on his face, couldn't you? He was mad at himself.
Oh, absolutely.
So a runner aboard and 2 men out. Check that, 1 man out. The batter now is Mike Hessman. Well, he did what we talked about earlier a lot. His first time, he was called out on strikes. These folks here would like nothing better than to see him hit the long ball here. He'll take strike 1. He was, pardon me, Eduardo, member of the Toledo team that won back-to-back championships in the IL a couple of years ago, and a finalist in the home run derby this year.
This year, only to be beat by the guy on the opposing team.
Runner going, and the throw is wide, and a stolen base by Darnell McDonald.
And that right there, Darnell stole that off the pitcher, off Lindsey, not the catcher. You see right there, he takes a nice jump, doesn't even peek in, straight steal, sliding right through the bag.
So stolen base for Darnell McDonald, who had 17 thus far in the regular season. Now a hit could mean a run for Dave Miley's club. And speaking of Dave, you played for Dave, and you're going to be able to talk to him, and I'll jump in there as well when we come back next half inning. The skipper of the IL club.
Love to talk to Cowboy.
Line foul, third base side. Big crowd on hand. This ballpark seats 13,131. There's Dave Miley. He managed in this city we were talking about earlier at Louisville to the International League Championship in 2001. He was a longtime manager in the IL at Indianapolis as well, and then he got the call to the big leagues late July of 2003.
Good man, good guy, easy to play for. Lets you go out there, be yourself, and have fun.
Off speed, and Hessman way out in front, and he fans for the second time.
And that's been Hessman's weakness right there. When you have a left-handed pitcher on the mound, runner in scoring position, you have to be patient. Pitcher knows you have that ungodly power and the knack of hitting home runs. Got to make him bring the pitch up, not get out of your zone.
There's an RBI chance now for Chris Carter.
Chris Carter, his first game in the big leagues was the day of the fight of the Boston Red Sox and Tampa Bay Rays this season, and he did not start that game, but he came in for Coco Crisp, which went up to the mound and got in a little fight with James Shield, but he went 2 for 3 in that game and then got sent down the next day. So he's a 667 hitter in the major leagues right now.
Well, Crisp ejected in the second inning for the fight, as you mentioned, with Shields. Carter takes over, scores on a sacrifice fly, and as you said, okay, that's good. Thank you very much. Now go help our Pawtucket team again.
Well, the situation was tough for Boston, and it's not that they wanted to send him down, but you had two guys that were hurt, Crisp, and at the same time also Ellsbury at the time, and they never put him on the DL, but they needed a guy that could go play center field, and Chris wasn't the guy, and that's what happens. You are the victim.
Actually, in that game, and we make it sound so simple, he pinch ran, scored, was out. He actually had 2 hits in that game, his first big league hit against Grant Balfour.
Exactly, a line drive up the middle, base hit, and then he hit another one in the hole. They played him the shift. They played the shift on him. His second major league at bat, and he hit a base hit to left field. He just poked it in there. He's like, Eddie, it was just a little rinky-dink, but you can say it was a line drive on air. So as far as I'm concerned, any base hit's a line drive.
Well, he had his first hit against Balfour. He had a second hit in that game against Balfour as well. And you talk about them putting the shift on. You think they don't scout everybody, including AAA players?
How about that, huh? Right now, you know, somebody's taking this game and going to use it and archive it just in case one of these guys gets called up any day.
Well, and you talk about scouts, and there they are right behind home plate taking furious notes back there as these guys bat. These players, this is the kind of game that they like. They get to showcase some of their skills on national television, where a lot of times people don't see them.
Exactly. Not only that, a lot of these players never really play over here in Louisville, and they never get to make it. And now at least these scouts and these area scouts here have an opportunity to see players and see what they feature. Guys from the PCL coming over here right now, and this is just like being a kid in a candy store for these guys. Look as they write.
Think they share notes amongst one another?
I wonder. I know they know each other well, but I don't know if they're going to tell each other the truth.
Well, you know what Marge Schott said about scouts?
Go ahead.
All they do is sit there and watch games.
I'll tell you what, but she paid him well.
She paid you for a while, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
And now you played in this game back in 1993, back when it was in Albuquerque. You didn't start that game, though, did you?
No, I was backup to a young guy by the name of Jim Toman. Good changeup right there.
Good off-speed pitch there and a strikeout. And this game scoreless through 3. Make sure you stay with us when we come back. That man, the manager of the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Yankees, Dave Miley.
It's Discover America Pancakes at IHOP, and it's really turning heads. Indulge in the monumental taste of New York cheesecake with chunks of cheesecake covered with cool strawberries. Or try Georgia Praline Peach, loaded with praline pecans smothered in peach topping. And don't miss All-American Red, White, and Blueberry crowned with cool strawberry and blueberry toppings. Get them with all your IHOP favorites all month long during Discover America Pancakes. IHOP. Come hungry, leave happy.
Sometimes just getting to retirement seems impossible. That's where we come in. As one of the nation's 401k leaders, the principal offers many simple ways to plan for retirement, making it easier for you to get where you're going. The Principal Financial Group will give you an edge.
White River State Park, the heart of downtown Indianapolis, home of the AAA Indianapolis Indians, and over 260 acres of world-class attractions including a zoo, botanical gardens, one-of-a-kind museums, Indiana's largest IMAX theater, festivals, and an outdoor concert venue. Experience what the New York Times calls Indianapolis's version of the mall in Washington, White River State Park. There's more to do than you ever knew. Visit online at inwhiteriver.com.
No score in this game through 3. Play ball, Mr. President. That's what they're promoting right now at the Louisville Slugger factory downtown. Let's talk to the manager now of the International League Stars, a man who managed this guy to my right, Eduardo Perez. Dave Miley. Dave, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Jim. Eduardo, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I got a question for you, my man. What you had the straight steal going on. Is that the game you're playing? They don't have a lot of speed on their side, but I see that you're attacking them and trying to create some runs.
Well, not only that, you saw Joe Thurston go first to third, so we're trying to be aggressive and get some runs across, and I'm going to turn it over to my staff and hopefully close this out.
Now, on a serious note, what was the best trade you ever saw in the minor leagues, Miles? Come on now.
Well, I knew that was coming. We rehearsed it for quite a while. It had to be the trade. Will Pennyfeller for Eduardo Perez, and Eduardo Perez came to Indianapolis and almost took us to the promised land. So you're the guy, Ed.
Atta baby, I love you, Miles.
Hey, Dave, you come back to Louisville here to manage the All-Star game after managing here for many years, including the championship in '01. You're still pretty popular here, aren't you?
You know, Sweetie wasn't real happy about that. Rick Sweet got a little disappointed. I went out there and got more of an ovation than he did. But great baseball city. All-Star games turned out to be great, and just glad to be here.
All right, Dave, thank you for your time.
You got it, guys.
Dave Miley, the manager of the International League Stars and the skipper of the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Yankees team. Meanwhile, we have a new pitcher into the game. This is Brian Mazzone. He's a southpaw from the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. That's the new Phillies AAA affiliate. Isn't that an interesting name?
Yeah, yes, it is. And they get creative as the years go along. But one thing they do is they have good baseball everywhere they play. The attendance is wonderful, and Lehigh Valley's done a phenomenal job out there.
Lehigh Valley took the place of Ottawa. The International League no longer now is international. In fact, with the departure of Ottawa, there are no Canadian cities in the AAA ranks any longer. All the teams left from the PCL as well. In fact, the last one went out in '05 in Edmonton. I think you played in Edmonton, didn't you?
I played in Vancouver at the time. A great city. You see right here, off-speed pitch, breaking ball stays up, but just did not break enough for John Gall. Sometimes you get disappointed as a hitter. You don't really want that hanging hanger. You want it just to hang. And so it can go into your bat zone, but John Gall right there got a little anxious and swung right under it.
Can you explain that a little bit more? You don't want the hanging hanger, you just want the hanger.
You just want the hanger. I mean, it's just a motto, a way of saying as a ball player, sometimes you get frustrated. I know right now John Gall in the dugout is really frustrated.
Well, there's one out here in the top of the 4th inning. And here's a guy we talked earlier about guys playing in both leagues. Terry Tiffey, as he yanks this ball to third. Nice dive and stop by Hessman, and up and over to first in time.
Nice play right there. Tim Tiffey having a career year this year. And if one's going to steal a ball from you, might as well have it in a postseason or in the All-Star game. Phenomenal Hessman getting up and a strong throw to first base. You know, one thing you see a lot of power hitters, usually they're not that good defensively. But Hessman, he is solid over there at third base this season so far with a .984 fielding percentage. No weakness with the glove.
The guy can also play some shortstop. He's done that this year. And you asked the question earlier about, or maybe not you, someone asked the question, yeah, but can he do anything but hit home runs? And of course the answer is yes. He is very good at third base. The 2 quick outs against the offerings of Brian Mazzone. Mazzone is an interesting story, Eduardo himself. He spent 5 years in independent ball after initially signing with Atlanta back in 1998, played rookie ball, and then 5 years in independent ball before finally getting back to affiliated baseball. He's going to have a 1-2-3 inning here as he gets Cruz on a fly ball into right field, and the third 1-2-3 inning of this game. Well, we talked with Dave Miley. When we come back, the skipper of the Iowa Cubs, Pat Listash, right after this.
You really don't even care about this year.
It's like the moments didn't even happen for you, man. It's not that I don't care. I care so much I can't even talk about it. But I can sing about it. Eli's coming and the Giants are winning. The defense holding, cause Eli's coming. And Brady's got a good-looking girlfriend. And Belichick's got a
Eli's coming, Eli's coming, Eli's coming.
The ESPYs, hosted by Justin Timberlake, Sunday at 9 Eastern on ESPN, presented by Hummer and Under Armour.
Crazy about the internet? Then you'd be crazy to do without protection for you, your family, and your PC. That's why you need the new Cox Security Suite, powered by McAfee, giving you unprecedented protection against identity theft, plus firewall and parental controls, antivirus, anti-spyware, anti-phishing, anti-anything that would keep you from being safe and virus-free. And it's all free with Cox high-speed internet. We've got your back. So go on, get more out of what you get into with Cox.
When a crossover can get 24 miles per gallon and take 7 people along for the ride, suddenly the whole world changes. Discover Flex from Ford. Drive one.
No score in this game. Pitcher's duel from Louisville Slugger Field here in the bottom of inning number 4. 3 hits for the Isle Stars, 1 for the PCL. We've talked with Dave Miley. Now let's go down to the sun-drenched dugout, although it's in shadows now, and talk with Pat Listash, the manager of the PCL club via the Iowa Cubs. Pat, we appreciate your taking time to visit. We talked earlier about Jamie D'Antona moving all around. You've done a lot of that in the last 3 or 4 days also, as you were out for the Futures game in New York, right?
As well, yes.
That was a lot of fun for you?
We had a blast out there. We had a good time, and we're happy to be in Louisville and being a part of this.
Hey, that game out there, you talk about the future of baseball. That's where that game comes from, isn't it?
Exactly, no doubt about it.
So far, the Futures game, and also here, you've seen very good pitching. They've been able to control hitting. Can you talk about a little bit about the pitching?
Our guys have been struggling to stay back on some breaking balls, and they're making some good pitches, and we chased some high fastballs a couple times, but for the most part, the pitching's been very good, and we only got 1 hit right now. We're ready for the bats to get hot.
Pat, thank you so much for your time, and enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
That's Pat Listash, the manager of the PCL Stars. We didn't get a chance to ask him about it, but we've talked, Eduardo. He was the 1992 American League Rookie of the Year back when Milwaukee was in the American League.
Yeah, and he was a heck of a player, and one thing he's been able to do is relate very well also to these young players, both at every level. At the AAA level, is his 6th season, and went back to AA, then came back, and one thing Pat Listash is doing is he's leaving his mark here at this level to make it to the major leagues, again, as a manager.
Chris Seddon is the new man on the mound, and he's going to get a pop-up here at a 1-0 pitch. Is it playable near the dugout? The answer is no, as it drifts into the stands. The strike 1 on Jeff Bailey, walked his first time. That's Mark Sacamano, first baseman from Round Rock over there, chasing that foul ball.
I can tell you, Jeff Bailey, he was talking to that baseball, making sure it left the yard, and please don't stay in, don't catch it. As a hitter, you just keep talking to it. Say anything you want in any language. Just make sure it keeps out of goes into the stands.
There's a strike called. No score here in the bottom of the 4th inning. We've got a special treat for you coming up. Jonathan Mayo down in the field with Jamie D'Antona. We're going to get to him here in a moment. He's DHing in this game, so he's got a lot of time to kill, Eduardo, in the dugout.
Yes, he does.
Did you like DHing?
You know what? I wasn't a fan of it some days, depending on the weather. But to be honest with you, I like to play a little bit of defense, get the just work, get warm out there, stay in the game, and I felt it was so comfortable as a player to be able on the field and work at it. As you see, the shadows right now are already not a problem for the hitters, and we should see these hitters now making a little bit more contact.
Bailey puts a charge into this ball to center field. Cruz going back, but he's going to have room. He makes the catch for out number 1. Brent Cleveland's going to come up, but before we talk about Brent, let's go down to Jonathan. Jonathan, who do you have?
Well, Jamie D'Antona may be among the league leaders in the Pacific Coast League in hitting, but and we know Eduardo saw something in that first at-bat, Jamie, they didn't quite like, so he's trying to help you out with a new piece of lumber here.
Yeah, it gave me one of his bats that he used to use, and hopefully this time I can put the ball in play.
Well, just so people don't think there's any sleight of hand going on here, we can prove that this was the bat that Eduardo wrote here. A little message there. I think that's where he wants you to hit the ball.
I think that's the spot that, you know, it might come off the best, and it's a nice little memo from him.
All right, Jamie, and we'll remind people that Jamie leads off the inning, guys.
Thanks, Jonathan. Thanks, Jamie. Hi, Mom. You wrote Hi, Mom.
You know what? If he goes deep like that, I'll get him a dozen of those, because that's the bat model my old man always wanted me to use. It's a model from, first person to use it was Veda Pinson in 1960, and it was his model. The reason why the number, the P89, is Pinson 89. Last name gets dedicated first, the letter, and then after that he's the 89th person with that last name, the last name starting with that letter, to get a model after him. That's why it's P89.
So you learn something all the time.
How about that?
Now you and Jamie and some of us got to go last night into the bat vault. There's a bobbled ball at short by Smith and a 2-out base runner, Chris Richard, here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Off the end of the bat, good motion right there on the pitch, but Chris pulled off a little bit and with a spin hits a bad hop, and it was really the only play he had, Smitty, was to attack the baseball right there. He knows in his gut, he knows he should have had it. It will be an error, but it was a tough hop right there at the end.
Omir Santos, who comes in batting for Jaramillo here in the number 8 spot, is the man at the plate making his first appearance of this game. Jaramillo started. Now Santos hits one down the left field line and a foul ball. Oh, he hit that ball well.
First pitch he sees, raking right there. Omir Santos from Bayamón, Puerto Rico, now lives in Toa Baja, which is right around the corner of San Juan. And this kid can play some defense. He belonged to the Yankees for many years, and finally became a free agent, signed with the Baltimore Orioles.
He has the longest hitting streak in an international league this year at 21 games. He took over for the switch hitting Jaramillo. Now he gets under this 0-1 pitch and pops it up. Second baseman stays with it. That's Colonel. He makes the catch, and the inning is over. 4 complete already here in Louisville, Kentucky. No score in the game, and when we come back, Jamie D'Antona of the PCL.
Why is it so hard to save money? This is America. We save everything. Rusty old tractors, funny-looking dogs, bottles, bees, all this stuff. The least we can do is save a few bucks. Bank of America makes it easy with money market accounts and risk-free CDs. Plus, keep the change. That's put over $1 billion in savings accounts. Come on. We save the bald eagle, the redwoods, 500,000 tons of strawberries. Let's save some money. You can with Bank of America. Bank of Opportunity.
Hey, Chet, you got a sec?
Sure, what's up?
You know those blue price drop circles you printed for Meyer?
The ones where you save everywhere you see them in the store? Yeah. I did 10,000 of those.
Notice anything wrong?
It's not a circle.
You know what shape this is?
Trapezoid?
No.
Quadrilateral?
It's an isosceles rectangle.
It's a rhombus.
It's a rhombus.
Remember, for greater savings, look for the blue price drop circle.
There is a place where the greatest fist fighter of all time can create an institution dedicated to world peace, that can turn a scrap metal yard into one of the coolest ball fields created in decades, where people can be open, honest, down to earth, while living in a top 20 American city. Such a place isn't possible, you say? Oh, it's more than possible. It's Possibility City, Louisville. It's possible here.
Keep up with the home team all season long with MinorLeagueBaseball.com's exciting game day feature.
With pitch-by-pitch coverage, live stats, and real-time action, it's the next best thing to being at the game. Visit MILB.com or your favorite AAA club's website for more details.
No score in a quick-moving game. 4 complete here at Louisville Slugger Field in this 21st annual AAA All-Star Game. New pitcher on for the IL Stars, and this is a right-hander, Dale Thayer, from the Tampa Bay organization and the Durham Bulls. And what a year his parent club is having this year.
Oh, they're having a phenomenal year, but Dale Thayer is also having a great year with a 1.46 ERA. Spoke with him earlier in the game, and he told me, Eddie, I'm going to throw away the changeup today. I'm a fastball slider pitcher. Just going to have fun with that today.
All right, well, here's Jamie D'Antona now. He's the champion of the Home Run Derby this year. He uses a bat a little bit different than the one that you gave him in terms of length and weight, right?
Absolutely. He uses usually a 34, 31 and a half ounce bat. And I looked at him and I said, you're such a big guy. There's no chance. We got to go 34 and a half. 33 ounces, and right there, that 97-mile-per-hour fastball blew by him. I guess those 2 ounces are just a little bit too much for my man, but we shall see.
You got a piece of that ball. He's probably thinking up there, why did I agree to do this? Why did I agree to do this?
Well, you see right there, he missed the high mom sign by a little bit. He's got to get a little bit more barrel on it.
It's this ball to third. Hespin will stay back on it and make the play for the out. So D'Antona is nothing out of 2 in the game. It sounded like he made great contact with that bat, Eduardo.
Well, he swung the bat like I did against righties, and that was he rolled over on it. That was my storyline. So at least we know he's consistent with it.
Here's Matt Brown. With 1 man out, he struck out his first time. The PCL has had, with that base hit by Mark Sacamano back in the 3rd, only 1 base runner in this game.
Dale Thayer, you see the velocity, 98 miles per hour. And it's easy cheese. That means you don't see a lot of effort going to it. I mean, this is what Tampa Bay has. They have a lot of arms. And the angle of which he throws it, which isn't over the top, it's a little bit in a 3/4 side, makes it that much better. Reminds me a lot of a pitcher named Rafi Montalvo, which also belongs to the Tampa Bay organization as a pitching coach in A-ball.
Thayer's 27 years old. He's at 2 balls now and 1 strike out of Chico State in California is where he played collegiately. He's a big-time closer coming up through the Tampa Bay organization. In fact, he led the Southern League in 05 and 06 as a member of the Mobile team in saves. Hard hit ball here toward left center field. McCutcheon chasing it. McCutcheon speed, and he can't get it. Off the wall it goes. Brown into second with a double. Hit number 2 for the PCL, and their first real chance to push across a run in this game.
And that ball was stroked very well by Matt Brown. See, this is a difference between the PCL and the International League. In the PCL, in a lot of ballparks, that ball's gone. Right there, you see the short, compact swing that Matt Brown has, and McCutcheon is not able to get to it, but he had a phenomenal jump, and you see right there, now the walls are padded. A lot more protection for these players, and they're allowed to go. He caught up to that ball. He just was not able to put it in the pocket.
He's the top prospect in this game, the number 9 prospect overall, as Jonathan was telling us earlier, and the number 1 prospect in the Pirate organization, and it was amazing that he almost caught up to that thing.
Just it's a combination of having a great jump with velocity. Just ran right under that ball, and these are the skills. That's what people talk about, the raw skills that he has, and that's why the minor leagues is so important for these players, and it makes such a difference compared to football and compared to basketball. These guys can prepare themselves at this level, and the Pirates have done the right thing with this kid, not just rushing him all the way up.
Mark Sacamano fouls that ball back. He's another one that has hit much better against right-handers than against left-handers this year. 235 against lefties, but 313 with 15 of his 22 home runs this year against right-handers. Nasty breaking ball there for a strike.
Oh, that was filth right there after throwing 97. Come back with a breaking ball like that. No wonder the hitters buckle.
2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 1 man out. And a ball low, and now a full count from Dale Thayer to Mark Sacamano. Round Rock is where he plays. It's down near Austin, in the Austin area, and just a terrific ballpark down there. Dell Diamond. Up and out of play goes that ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. We mentioned that double by Brown, just out of the reach of Andrew McCutchen, and here's where McCutchen lines up in terms of that draft. There you see Justin Upton, the 05 draft, was #1, and look at some of the names on there in the big leagues. Zimmerman, Braun, Tulowitzki. Some big time names right there. Ellsbury line to center, and McCutchen is right there to make the catch on that ball. He was the 11th overall pick in that draft, and by virtue of those names and by the season that he's having, you think he's going to get a chance later this year, don't you agree?
Well, he should, and especially in a situation where Pittsburgh is right now. You see Xavier Nady has been rumored to be traded to other organizations like Tampa Bay. That could open a spot for Andrew to get up to the major leagues and show what he can do in Pittsburgh.
Jason Smith with an RBI opportunity, but it's not going to happen as the shallow fly ball to left field is caught by Bailey. And the inning comes to an end. A double and 1 left, and 2 stranded through 4 1/2. When we come back, the mayor of Louisville, Jerry Abramson, is going to join us. No score in the AAA All-Star game.
Popcorn, Cracker Jack, baseball is back right here, right now. Our team, our town. Come on, come on, come on, come see your Clippers. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Columbus Clippers. Our team, our town.
Every biker knows that on 2 wheels, the visibility is always better, which is great, until you see rivers and streams spoiled by stormwater pollution. You know, the sad thing is we can all help prevent it. Come on, make sure your vehicles don't leak oil and antifreeze and other fluids, and recycle your used motor oil. Go to TennesseeWaterworks.com. Find out how you can help keep Tennessee a sweet ride. Water pollution. It's everyone's problem.
Planning a trip? Make it the Lehigh Valley. It fits your budget with a wide range of affordable travel packages. It fits your interests with festivals, outdoor recreation, family attractions, and seasonal activities. And it fits your travel time. We're located an hour north of Philadelphia and less than 2 hours west of New York City. Call or visit us online today to request a free Lehigh Valley map and guide brochure. Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania. It just fits.
There's a new Orleans, baby. The quarter's jumping, the music's thumping. Come out and play in New Orleans. We're rolling out the red paddle wheel, painting portraits in the square. We got a pot of gumbo, need some streetcar fare. Come out and play in New Orleans. Pack your bags, come out and play in New Orleans.
Nothing offensively yet in this game for either team, the PCL, the IL, as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And one of the things we see a lot in Louisville is that dog, the golden retriever, Jake the Diamond Dog. He likes to bring water out. He'll be a bat dog if you need. He'll bring the drinks. He'll go get the foul balls if necessary. He's here a lot in Louisville, and he is on stage tonight, that's for sure. We are very pleased to have with us up here in the booth the Honorable Mayor of Louisville, Jerry Abramson. Jerry, thanks for coming by to see us. I know this is a big day for the Louisville franchise in the IL, but also a huge day for the city of Louisville.
It's a great day for this community. I mean, baseball is a part of the fabric of Louisville, Kentucky. Going back to the Louisville Sluggers way back when, going back to the era of the Colonels when we were playing out at Parkway Field. Pee Wee Reese was a part of that experience right here in Louisville. And this ballpark, this jewel box that we call of a ballpark, has just re-energized families to such an extent that's created an opportunity, Eduardo, for families to come and enjoy. AAA baseball is where it's at in America today.
Well, I got to commend you not only on on what you guys have done here, but the stadium, I mean, it is a beautiful facility. I came here, I was in awe. I played at the old Cardinal Stadium, and to come here right now and see this, I got to give you some kudos on that.
We've come a long way from playing in a 45,000-seat football stadium. Although we went over 1 million in terms of the people that came to see it there, we've done tremendous now that we're downtown.
Jerry, I know that you don't like to talk about it, but you were very instrumental in getting this ballpark built. A lot of folks said, let's just renovate the old Cardinal Stadium.
That's exactly right. You know, there were a lot of folks that really were negative about locating this facility here. It was in the middle of nowhere at the time. We made the investment. We were able, with the ownership, which is such an outstanding group of guys, to be able to bring this team here. And then around it, almost $200 million of investment has occurred as a result of this jewel box being built on this corner at Preston and Main.
And the creative aspect of putting a carousel out there in right field, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Children just love coming here and being part of that.
A lot of that had to do with my son at the time was 3 years old, and I knew I couldn't get him beyond a hot dog and an ice cone, a snow cone. So we had to figure out something to do with those kids. So we figured we put the flying horses, the merry-go-round out there. You could stand and watch the game while you kept an eye on your kid. You didn't block anybody's view, and it made it a just wonderful ballpark for families to enjoy.
Jerry, thank you so much for stopping by and visiting with us. I know you've been shaking a lot of hands as you walk around the ballpark tonight.
Well, everybody's so proud here in Louisville to host the AAA All-Star Game. Thanks for what you guys do, and let's keep the energy of AAA baseball going.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. Good to be with you.
That's the mayor of Louisville, Jerry Abramson, visiting with us here at Louisville Slugger Field as this game rolls on in the bottom of inning number 5. Big pitchers duel, 2 hits for the PCL, 3 for the International League thus far in this game, but no one has touched the plate as of yet.
None have. We've seen a lot of left-handed pitchers so far, and they've just been dominating. And you have at the plate the only man in the game that's 2 for 2, and he looks right there a little bit foolish on that breaking ball, but he's been able to hit all lefties. He's faced 2 of them already. 2 of them have gone down to his 2 singles, and Joe Thurston is leaving a mark here at the AAA All-Star Game 2008.
5th pitcher of this game already is Ryan Wing for the PCL. He's from the Sacramento River Cats, 6'2", 190-pound left-hander, and a fellow that's worked out of the bullpen all year. 2-1 with a 1.37 ERA. He had a tremendous stretch earlier in the year. Through the end of May, he had an ERA of under 1. He was just dominant.
Well, he features that fastball, the changeup, the cutter, and the curveball to go along with it. And hitters just do not feel comfortable at the plate. I talked to a couple guys in the clubhouse that have faced Ryan, and they're like, wow, this guy is filthy. It's just too tough to feel comfortable against him. They said that about him. And hopefully later we'll see a young right-handed pitcher by the name of Luis Pena that guys say he is just lights out.
Wing, you notice, has more strikeouts than innings pitched. Gets one into Thurston, who turned on it, yanks it a long way, but fouled down the right field line.
See the carousel in the background over there. The mayor was talking about it. I feel like maybe we should send Jonathan out there and see if he can ride along in it. Maybe he's already been riding on it during the game.
Hey, you never know. It's an enticing little area out there, that's for sure. Thurston takes it inside. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Good pitch right there by Wing. Now he's forced to come with the fastball, and Thurston knows that he might be cheating out a little bit in front of him. Let's see if Wing throws another pitch besides the heater on a 3-2 count.
He's a former 2nd-round pick by the White Sox back in 2001. We talked about Andrew McCutchen being one of the few high draft picks in this game. Wing is a 2nd-round pick. Jamie Dantona is a 2nd-round pick back in 03. There's a good off-speed pitch right there. ESPN's Game of the Week features 2 of the top teams in the American League as Manny Ramirez and the Boston Red Sox take on Vladimir Guerrero and the Angels. Each team looking to get off to a great second-half start of the season. Started with a bang. And Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell on ESPN at a special start time of 6 Eastern. Coverage begins with baseball tonight, driven by Chevy at 5 Eastern. 2 men out, and now we get to see Andrew McCutchen, who we saw almost run that ball down in center field. getting at bat here for the first time.
Well, Jonathan spoke earlier about his size and his power, and don't be fooled by his size. This kid can really hit the ball out of the ballpark. He's only 23 years of age, and he already has 8 home runs this season, and with a very respectable average at this level.
He takes that pitch just off the plate, a ball. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. McCutchen, the #1 prospect, as we mentioned in the Pirates organization, has 8 home runs on the year, hitting 10 last year at AA. Hammers this ball into center, and that will fall for a base hit. 2-out single by Andrew McCutchen.
Good piece of hitting right there by Andrew McCutchen. Off the left-handers, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. See it fastball, you see it right there on the outer half of the plate. Doesn't try to pull it, doesn't try to do too much. Puts his foot down, keeps his eye on the ball, and is able to hit a linea up the middle.
Now you need to talk about that. You've used that a couple of times, a linea. People probably wondering if you're speaking Spanish there.
Oh, always. It's a baseball term. Definite linea is a line drive up the middle. With all the international players nowadays, a lot of the players already, say that line drive is a linea because it's a way to relate not only between the Latin players, but also the American players and Japanese players and whoever is out there with a uniform on.
One of the many universal baseball terms. That one's going to go foul, although he hit it a long way. Mike Hessman, who's trying to put the ball in play for the first time in this game. Let's see if we can get Mike Hessman to hit a linea here.
Well, you got speed at first base. You have a combination of speed at first base and power at the plate right now, and this is the perfect ingredient for Mike Hessman to get fastballs, even though that was a breaking ball right there. Pitcher knows the history of Mike and knows that he's vulnerable to chase.
Pretty good lead over there by McCutchen, who has 24 stolen bases on an Indianapolis team that leads the International League in stolen bases. They like to run, no question about that.
See the lead right there at first base. Conservative.
Hessman doesn't make contact. It is at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Talked about he and Jamie Dantona being in the finals of the Home Run Derby here on Monday. Hessman hit a total of 8. Dantona hit 10. They had to go to double overtime before finally Dantona hit the game winner to left field, a line drive. Strike 3 call to Mike Hessman, and he fans for the 3rd time in this game. Strikeouts aplenty in this game for both sides, and after 5, we are still scoreless as Mike Hessman tries but can't put the ball in play in this at-bat.
Hey, Chet, you got a sec?
Sure, what's up?
You know those blue price drop circles you're printing for Meyer?
The ones where you save everywhere you see them in the store? Yeah. I did 10,000 of those.
Notice anything wrong?
It's not a circle.
You know what shape this is?
Trapezoid?
No.
Quadrilateral?
It's an isosceles rectangle.
It's a rhombus.
It's a rhombus.
Remember, for greater savings, look for the blue price drop circle.
There is a place where the greatest fist fighter of all time can create an institution dedicated to world peace that can turn a scrap metal yard into one of the coolest ball fields created in decades, where people can be open, honest, down to earth, while living in a top 20 American city. Such a place isn't possible, you say? Oh, it's more than possible. It's Possibility City, Louisville. It's possible here.
Who said it was okay to leave change sitting around? Hanging out in jars, lying under cushions with old French fries. This is America. Do we let the sun just shine or the wind just blow? No, we put them to work. With Bank of America's Keep the Change, every check card purchase is rounded up and the change slides from your checking to savings. So far, our customers have saved over $1 billion. Wouldn't you like to have a slice of that? You can with Bank of America. Bank of Opportunity.
ESPN's presentation of the AAA All-Star Game. Brought to you by Bank of America, Bank of Opportunity. Meyer, higher standards, lower prices. And Louisville, it's possible here.
One of there's a lot of good game on the field tonight, but there's also a lot of good game on the sideline. We saw some of those folks over there trying to see if they can throw their arm out of socket. The speed pitch, one of the many entertaining things that go on here at this ballpark. And boy, that guy, those two young men look like they're having a lot of fun. He brought the glove. That's the universal symbol of a great fan, isn't it? Bring your glove to the ballpark, young and old alike.
I'll tell you what, I saw that kid throwing over there, and I could just imagine me throwing in the speed pitch, and it screams torn labrum for me. So I'm going to stay away from that area, but it's good to see the young with so many activities to do here at the ballpark. It's standing room only here.
Not seen any offense in terms of runs as of yet. We do have a new pitcher into the game. Rich Rundles of the Buffalo Bisons is in. He's probably on a school assignment with his camera right there, getting some good baseball photos.
Yes, he is. Rich Rundles right now on the mound features a fastball, cutter, and a slider. He throws sidearm also some of the pitches. So we should see that if he faces a left-handed hitter. There he is right there, throwing it from the side, making it feel uncomfortable to the hitters. That 87 seems like 94 because of the arm slot. Just easy cheese.
Rundles was a starter in his career until he signed as a free agent with Cleveland for this 2008 season. He's worked out of their bullpen this year 37 times, 5-4 with a 3.46 ERA for Rich Rundles. Traded a couple of times in his career after being drafted initially in the 3rd round back in '99 by Boston. He's facing Vinny Rotino, batting for the 2nd time. Flied out his first trip to right, and he's down a ball and 2 strikes.
And that's exactly why you see a lot of these guys get traded in their minor league careers. You see a lot of potential, a lot of size. Rundle's been traded a couple times, as you said, and there's so much potential. And if you can just find a diamond in the rough.
Good off-speed pitch there, and he gets a ground ball right back to the mound. He's going to throw Rotino out for out number 1.
See, Barbaro Canisada is now at first base.
Your buddy.
For the Atlanta Braves, yes. He defected Cuba a few years ago, and he's over here. He's climbed up the ladder very fast, and he's having fun. He's really enjoyed the baseball here at the U.S. and just adapted well, and he's got very good power, and we'll see what Atlanta does with him because they got Mark Teixeira over there at first base right now.
Although there have been rumors that with the way that the Braves have played this year, that maybe Teixeira is expendable.
Maybe if he is, if they can get the right asking, the asking price is going to be very high for him because they gave up a lot of good players like Saltalamacchia for him to Texas last season. We're going to see what happens over there in Atlanta.
Well, there's 2 quick outs here in the top of the 6th inning. John Gall, who has fanned twice, is the man at the plate now. Struck out in the 1st, struck out in the 4th. And they make contact here in the top of the 6th inning for the PCL Stars.
John has yet to feel comfortable at the plate today. All his swings have been very, you can tell he's been tied up a lot. They keep pounding him inside. There's another strike on a foul ball hit down the line.
He was a 2004 AAA All-Star, John Gall. That game that was played out in Pawtucket, he went 1 for 2 in that game. That's the game we showed earlier where Andy Phillips hit the walk-off homer in the bottom of the 10th inning.
Came up with St. Louis Cardinals organization.
There's another slow breaking ball, and Gall looked it all the way into the catcher's mitt. Victor Santos, and out to retire the side. Still zeros on the run column in this game in the middle of the 6th.
This summer, the World Series of Poker is all new. Watch the game's brightest stars and biggest dreamers every Tuesday night as they battle for the highest stakes and the most coveted jewel in the game. From the bracelet events to the final table, it all goes down on poker's biggest stage, where yesterday's ordinary Joe might just become tomorrow's millionaire. The World Series of Poker, presented by Milwaukee's Best Light, begins Tuesday at 8 on ESPN.
Find out what's happening now in the OC. Go to OC Now on Demand on your TV or visit OCNow.com online. Go on demand for shopping now, dining now, and entertainment now. Travel now. We're living in the OC now. To stay in the now for this weekend's events and latest hotspots, go online. OC Now on demand on FreeZone or OCNow.com online. OC Now, your local resource.
When a crossover can get 24 miles per gallon and take 7 people along for the ride, suddenly the whole world changes. Discover Flex from Ford. Drive one.
The world's greatest players meet at one of England's finest courses, Royal Birkdale, home of the 137th Open Championship. Phil Mickelson and Ernie Els aim for the British Open title, while Sergio Garcia looks for redemption. Our coverage of the quest for the Claret Jug begins at 9 a.m. Eastern Saturday and 8 a.m. Sunday on ABC.
They understand the weather over there has been very dry this year, so that could make for some interesting golf, shouldn't it?
It should. I mean, weather good in British Open. Woo!
All right, let's check in with Jonathan Mayo. Jonathan, where are you, sir?
I'm out over down right field. You bring your kids to a minor league game, you need something to do. They've got a great carousel here. Needless to say, guys, attendance in minor league baseball has reached dizzying heights.
Why aren't you on a horse, Jonathan?
There wasn't one available. I was looking for Big Brown, but evidently he's under investigation.
He's about 10 miles from here.
Yeah, I like the horse right here. I'm going to put some money down on the one to my left right here, although he seems to be kind of running in place right now.
Well, he's finding the nooks and crannies, so to speak, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He's having a good time.
There's that carousel ride. You can get off now, Jonathan. See, he wants to stay on that thing.
Yes, he does. He's scared to jump off right now, right?
The pitcher in the bottom of the 6th inning for the PCL Stars is a former Louisville pitcher. Mike Burns is now with the Iowa Cubs, and he gets a fly ball into right field off the bat of Chris Carter, and that's handled out there for out number 1.
Okay, we got him.
Pitching change brought to you by Ticket Return. New pitcher Mike Burns with the Iowa Cubs now. Now we'll get a pinch hitter for Jeff Bailey for the IL squad. Jonathan Van Every comes up as the pinch hitter here in the 6th.
Pawtucket just showing a lot of his players so far, and Van Every had also a cup of coffee this season with the Red Sox.
Van Every made his big league debut on the 14th of May.
Yes, he did. You see Burns right here. He features fastball, curveball, slider, and a split. It's not a changeup, even though he says a lot of people think it's a change. It's a split, and it's as nasty as they come.
Well, he's quickly ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. That one misses high. Even things at 2-2. Burns in his 2nd consecutive year with Pawtucket. He was with them last year. Signed as a free agent with them again this year.
Van Every got his first base hit this season, as you said, May 14th. Went 1 for 3 in the 5th inning. He hit a linea to center field off Daniel Cabrera.
Now here's a guy, Burns, with an ERA of 3.59. That's good for 4th in the International League. If he was pitching in the International League, his 3.59 would not have him even in the top 10. Amazing.
Oh,
as
yeah,
you compare the IL versus the PCL. And Every fouls it back. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Good at bat right there by Van Every so far, fouling off 96-mile-per-hour fastballs.
There's a look at Mike Burns, 3rd-round pick by the Cubs back in 2000. Strike 3 called. He gets Van Every looking for the 2nd out.
Van Every did not like that call in the outside corner. As you see right there, boom, in the corner. That right there is a strike, my friend. You see the line, you see where the fastball passes. If it goes over that, it's a strike, and it did. Van Every did not like the call. He just thought it was outside. Definitely not low.
He had a little bit of a look like Terry Francona, didn't he? He had his facial look is a lot like Terry.
Just a little bit more hair.
What hair Terry had going into the game last night, he no longer has today. He was major stressed out last night.
I would be too. I mean, you don't have enough pitchers to go along, and you really had to throw Scott Kazmir into the equation. He had to throw, he just had to throw pitchers that had to extend them longer than what they should have. And he was worried, but it turned out for the best, and the American League will have home field advantage in the World Series.
Speaking of that, this game also is for home field advantage, as it were, for the Bricktown Showdown, which is the championship game in September between the champion of the IL and the champion of the PCL, and a game played in Oklahoma City. The winner of this game gets to be the home team in that game. Cleveland goes out 4-3 there, and a 1-2-3 bottom of the 6th inning. We are through 6 as we take another look at the carousel. No Jonathan out there anymore. He may be on the side. He fell off.
I'm Teddy Bruschi. When Heidi and I huddled to discuss our team at home, we decided to get life insurance from SBLI.
SBLI has the perfect game plan for your family if something happens to you.
Hey guys, bring it in. Dinner's ready.
White River State Park, the heart of downtown Indianapolis, home of the AAA Indianapolis Indians, and over 260 acres of world-class attractions, including a zoo, botanical gardens, one-of-a-kind museums, Indiana's largest IMAX theater, festivals, and an outdoor concert venue. Experience what the New York Times calls Indianapolis's version of the mall in Washington, White River State Park. There's more to do than you ever knew. Visit online at inwhiteriver.com.
There is a place where the greatest fistfighter of all time can create an institution dedicated to world peace, that can turn a scrap metal yard into one of the coolest ball fields created in decades, where people can be open, honest, down to earth, while living in a top 20 American city. Such a place isn't possible, you say? Oh, it's more than possible. It's Possibility City, Louisville. It's possible here.
Broadway Across America Norfolk presents an incredible new season for 0809. This year features 4 of the hottest shows on Broadway: Monty Python Spamalot, Cirque Dreams Jungle Fantasy, Avenue Q, and Wicked. Get season tickets today. Visit BroadwayAcrossAmerica.com.
Welcome back to the ballpark. This is Louisville Slugger Field in Louisville, Kentucky, the site of the 21st annual AAA All-Star Game. It's a scoreless contest thus far as we move into the 7th inning. That's not the general manager of the Reds, Walt Jocketty. That young man, he has a couple of those, and he'll be flying out of here tonight, won't he? That cotton candy.
Feeling it.
New pitcher into the game for the IL. That's Jeremy Cummings from the Durham Bulls. He's a right-hander that will face, leading things off here for the PCL Stars, a new player into the game.
That's Tim Tiffy.
I'm sorry, this is Terry Tiffy, my mistake. Terry Tiffy stays in there and leads things off. And there's a look at our pitcher, Jeremy Cummings.
Jeremy Cummings featuring his fastball, changeup, curve, and a slider. Having a lot of fun here. He was excited to be here as he takes the lead already on an 0-2 count versus Tiffy. You see his numbers right there: 2.82 ERA, 7.2, and opponents are just hitting 222 off him. So he's keeping them off balance.
Made a dozen starts this year, but he started the year, he was in spring training with Toronto, and then he had to leave the country and go to play in China, the Chinese Professional League over there for a while before finally signing with Tampa Bay in the middle of May.
Some guys have to take different routes to get where they have to, but the bottom line is get to the major leagues. That's the ultimate goal of every player once they sign professionally.
Watch Cummings here, Eduardo, and he uses the full windup over the head. You don't see that as much anymore.
You don't see much of that, but he does. He is very effective with it. As you see, Terry Tiffy having a career year. Last year, he only hit 272. This season, way over that, and I spoke with him earlier about his numbers. He has 129 hits already, same as last season, with 147 less at-bats than he did. And one of the big reasons, he said, listen, where I played last year, it was a tough place. Wind was always blowing in. I hit over 300 on the road, and I only hit 200 at home.
Well, he chased a changeup there and didn't get it, and he's a strikeout for the first out here in the top of the 7th inning. But we're just about at that time for the Olympics, and baseball still an Olympic sport. And Jonathan, you have an update on the baseball team in the Olympics.
Yeah, perhaps the last time there will be baseball in the Olympics, at least for the time being. And Terry Tiffy, who we just saw making out there, is one of the 6 members of this all-star game here today who will be headed to Beijing, probably leave their teams in late July and then head over to China in early August, chosen by Paul Seiler and Davey Johnson, as well as Bob Watson, and a committee for Team USA to decide who's going to represent this country in the Olympic Games.
Well, there's 6 players, as you mentioned. That's quite an honor for them, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely. It's an honor for them. They're excited. They're excited about being named to the Olympic team. I know Blaine Neal this afternoon, he was worried about it. He did not know anything yesterday or anything, and when he got the call, he was as ecstatic as they can be.
Now that'll hurt Larry Parrish's Toledo club. They lose their home run man in Mike Hessman, and they lose their closer in Blaine Neal. He'll be happy for them personally, but not for his team.
Well, but he's going to be happy for his country. Wearing that red, white, and blue, the pride that you have to wear that uniform and that USA on your chest is second to none, especially in the Olympics, as there is no maximum comparison to that.
Well, that's coming up again in early August, and as Jonathan mentioned, late July, those players will leave. 3 balls and a strike now to Nelson Cruz, who takes a borderline pitch for strike 2.
Nelson Cruz, a lot of people wondering, what is he still doing at the AAA level? Absolutely abusing the level, this level, and he's 27 years old. And between last season and this season, he's had remarkable numbers as he hits a line drive over the shortstop's head and stays with it after 2 pop-ups to right field, is able to put the bat on the ball.
Only the third, pardon me, Eduardo, the 3rd base hit by the PCL in this game.
7 total in the game. That just tells you how much pitching has dominated these quality hitters.
Well, here's your guy now, Jamie Dantona. Yeah, the question is he or is he not still using your bat?
I don't know, but I love his personality. This guy's stubborn enough to keep using the bat. This time he's not facing a guy that's throwing 98.
He's got a little pine tar on that thing now, though, doesn't he? Maybe that was the problem the first time.
No, he's putting some dressing on it, man. That's one thing I never did too much of, and he does. As you see, Cruz.
Well, the runner went. Cruz, and one of the best arms in the International League, Ryan Hannigan, the local product out of Louisville. He guns down Cruz at second base.
Well, that was a very good jump by Cruz. As you see him right there, good jump, but it's just Hanahan doing the job behind the plate. Perfect throw, money.
He is almost, not quite, but almost at 40% in throwing out would-be base stealers this year. And as you look at that, you say, well, is that good or is that bad? If you compare hitting numbers to throwing out numbers for a catcher, if you're at 40% in throwing out runners, you're a 300 hitter type.
Oh, that's excellent right there. That's Yadier Molina type numbers right there, and Ivan Rodriguez numbers when people were running on him, and just doing a phenomenal job behind the plate. He's been calling great games, and so far he's been money out back there.
Nelson Cruz, he was gunned down attempting to steal second base, and back to Ryan Hannigan, his manager, who's a coach on this IL team, Rick Sweet, says he just can't believe the remarkable improvement from Ryan Hannigan last year to this year. Another strikeout as Dantona fans for the second time, and another 3-batter inning here in the top of the 7th. Strikeouts have been the main order of business here tonight. We are at the stretch, still scoreless.
The Brickyard means history, miles of traditions, and unforgettable legends. It means racing back to the bricks with fans on the left and on the right. It means having something to prove, having a story to tell. It means watching the best of the best of the best. It means greatness. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series comes to ESPN with the All-State 400 at the Brickyard. Coverage begins Sunday, July 27th at 1 p.m. on ESPN.
Visit Channel 1 and go beyond TV with Free Zone On Demand, now showing in OC Now On Demand.
Cox 3. Don't miss your favorite local programs like OC Lifestyle. Tune into OC Now On Demand and select Cox 3 to watch current episodes of Game of the Week. It's Cartoon Time, The Mix, OC Lifestyle, and more. Cox 3. Local like no other.
Visit Channel 1. Free Zone. OC Now On Demand.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Experience the thrill of wheel-to-wheel racing at K1 Speed. Feel the G-forces hit the apex, draft the straightaway. Our electric karts have 20 horsepower and go 40 miles per hour. From novice to expert, try your skills at our professionally designed asphalt tracks. Great for corporate events, bachelor and birthday parties, or just arrive and drive. K1 Speed. With several locations in Southern California.
Patrick Henry Hughes of the University of Louisville Marching Band. He sang the national anthem here on Monday, the Home Run Derby. He plays it there in this half inning, in the 7th inning. His family was featured this winter on Extreme Home Makeover. And so, yeah, there was a big deal here in the Louisville area. And Patrick is an amazing, amazing student at the U of L.
It's amazing. If I'm not mistaken, I did see that show, and he can play the piano just as well. This kid is some kind of special, and it's emotional. The fans, as soon as they mentioned that he was playing God Bless America, they stood up and they were so proud for him.
Well, meanwhile, the question about this game, Eduardo, is there going to be a run scored? Because we talked earlier, this is only going to be a 10-inning game regardless of what happens.
And it's curious. We'll find out then what happens in the Classic in Oklahoma City to see who gets the home field advantage, pretty much. Who is that home team?
We have a new pitcher into the game. This is Edwin Moreno. He's from the Portland Beavers, a right-hander. And why don't you tell us a little bit about him?
Edwin Moreno, one thing about this kid, he throws fastballs, change-ups, he throws a cutter and a slider. This kid is from Venezuela, El Mojan, Venezuela. And he's definitely been out there having a lot of fun for the Portland Beavers.
Before we get going here in the bottom of the 7th inning, let's check in again with Jonathan Mayo.
Thanks, guys. One of the best things about a ball game here is you're likely to see Jake, the ball dog, and he does just a little bit of everything, doesn't he? Balls, bats, delivers flowers.
Oh yeah, bats, water to the umpires, shags, balls. We do frisbees, and we're about to do the ballpark sweetheart for tonight.
All right, and Jake, give me 5.
Let's go. Give me 5.
Give me 5, Jake.
Let's go.
All right, good job. Last question for you, Jake. Who's the greatest player who ever played the game? Guys, I'm pretty sure he said Roof.
Thank you, Jonathan. Somebody said Roof down there. I'm not sure who did that. Somebody said Roof. The umpires, though, they're a thirsty breed tonight, and so Jake takes care of him. It looks like he's got a little full lather going, too, doesn't it?
I'll tell you what, he feels just right at home over here, and he's having a good time, and the fans seem to love him. And this game has just taken on a mind of its own as it's still 0-0, completely different than last year in Albuquerque.
Well, here is Barbaro Canizares to lead things off in the bottom of inning number 7. Still scoreless in this game. And as we talked about earlier, only 7 hits, 3 for the PCL, 4 for the IL. Last year's game had a lot of offense in the first inning, right?
Oh, yes, a lot of offense. As you see Canizares right there. Hits a line drive in the hole, and that's one thing he can do, put the bat on the ball and make things happen. This guy can really hit left-handed pitchers really well. Hit over 400 last season against them, is over 300 this season. You see that swing fluid, and Atlanta Braves might have a hidden gem in Barbaro Cañizares.
Well, he's 28 years old, as you mentioned. Defected from Cuba in 2004. He had tried a number of times earlier, and he couldn't get out of the country. Then he was suspended from playing baseball in his native land as well.
He was, and it's tough for a lot of the Cuban players. They want to have the dream of playing here in the U.S. We've seen a lot of them being able to get out, like Unieski Betancourt. You have El Duque, you have Levan Hernandez, so many players, Ariel Prieto that left and been able to leave their mark here in the U.S. and Barbaro just wants to be another one of them.
Well, that base hit off of the bat of Ryan Hannigan. So not only has he thrown a runner out in this game attempting to steal, he gets a solid single in the center. He's having a pretty good night for a guy who's the third catcher in the game for the IL.
The third catcher, but I'll tell you one thing, Ryan's showing up here in his own town, and nobody knows the plate area better than he does, and he quickly hits that line drive up the middle.
So we get the base hit by Cañizares, and now the base hit by Hannigan, and this is the first legitimate scoring threat for the IL since way back really in the first inning when they had 2 on and nobody out.
Well, we're going to find out right now. Dave Miley is playing small ball right here. He told me earlier on, he said, Eddie, I don't have any signs. These guys are going to have to manage themselves and play themselves as they know the game. He wants these guys to really have fun in this all-star game. So usually in a situation like this, you see the bunt as you see a third baseman also playing in, but Miles is just letting their guys play.
It almost looked there, didn't it, like someone was asking him, Dave, are you going to put the bunt on here? And he was laughing and saying, are you kidding me?
Oh no, he's going to let these guys hit. I asked him earlier, I said, you got any signs working? He said, oh no. Oh no, big shooter, we're going with the straight game plan.
Well, Bixler started this season at Indianapolis and then went up to the big leagues, made his major league debut. Jack Wilson had a strained left calf, the starting shortstop of the Pirates. He went on the DL, and Wilson had to eventually come down and play at Indianapolis on a rehab assignment, but it was this fellow Bixler who went up and was able to fill that shortstop spot for the Pirates, although he didn't hit overly well at 175. But he did get that major league time the first time. Now, the second time he goes up, seems like people say it's always a little bit easier, or at least they're more comfortable with it.
Oh, most definitely. But Bixler took advantage of it. He can say that he's a big leaguer. That's the dream of every guy playing the game. And he's got that time. He's got the cup of coffee now. He wants a whole boatload of coffee. He wants that full fridge of it. And he might get that opportunity. He sees the moment at the time. You see the defense right there playing a little bit to pull in center field.
I saw Hannigan leading away at first base, and to the point that you're making, Hannigan's first at bat last year in the big leagues in September as a September call-up. He got a double against Ben Sheets.
How about that? Guy that started the All-Star game yesterday at Yankee Stadium, and to go out there and face a quality pitcher like that and to hit a double. Hannigan just trying to get back again to the big leagues.
Well, he leads away at first. Cañizares, you see in your picture at second. Nobody out until now is Bixler, the starting shortstop for Dave Miley's club fans, and the first out here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
See the pitch right here. Catcher sets up away, looking for a hard slider, and the success of that slider was how late it broke, and that's what made Bixler swing and miss. It's the late break that fools the hitter. The hitter thinks it's going to be a heater, a fastball, and then all of a sudden it just dives down and away on you.
That's the 8th strikeout now by Pacific Coast League pitching in this game. They'll go along with the 8 by the International League pitching staff as well. 6 two teams.
Just dominating right there as you see Joe Thurston 2 for 3 already in the game. All singles off lefties. This is the first at bat he gets off a righty as the ball gets away on a wild pitch, and got runners in scoring position right now. This is the best threat so far in the game.
Easily the best threat. Second and third with 1 man out as the wild pitch uncorked there by Edwin Moreno. He has 2 of them during the regular season. See if the catcher had a real opportunity at this ball.
See, Ellis, first time he's catching Moreno off Las Vegas. He and Rene Rivera shared time behind the plate over there in Vegas. Was not able to keep that ball in front of him since the first inning. The IL has a runner in scoring position at third base.
It's A.J. Ellis now behind the plate for the PCL. And actually, when you looked at that, Eduardo, he did a great job of blocking it, but the ball appeared to have a lot of spin and took off on it.
It had a lot of spin. He was not able to deaden the ball. One thing I see a lot of catchers working on always on the side is deadening that ball. And I think it has to do a lot that he hasn't never really caught the pitcher before, and you sometimes don't have that late break and a lot of spin on it. 87.
Same location on back-to-back pitches, and he didn't get either of them.
Not at all. Look at this pitch right here. Just cheese. A lot of lefties like that down and in fastball, but that one was just a little too low and a little too in for Joe. 97.
Moreno has 28 strikeouts, 29 innings pitched so far this year for Portland. Hurston stays alive with that foul ball.
You gotta like the way Edwin Moreno goes after the hitters on the inner part of the plate. Not a lot of pitchers are able to do that, but he has consistently targeted that part against Thurston, not allowing him to get his hands extended and get the barrel of the bat on the ball.
Moreno is the only player on either team that started this season at Double-A. He actually started the season down at San Antonio, where he compiled a 2.95 ERA. Was called up near the early days of May, and he's done a great job with Portland since coming up. He's another one. His discrepancy between home and road numbers are astounding. A 7.71 ERA at home and a 2.04 ERA on the road.
Room service.
That's your standard answer, isn't it?
Oh, believe it.
But a lot to be said for that.
A lot to be said about it.
Because I've always been told you don't have to worry about anything but baseball when you're on the road. You play, you go back to the hotel, you play.
It's got
none of those other distractions.
Absolutely. You just have to worry how much tip you're going to leave your hostess.
Why you don't have more meal money. That ball in the dirt to Thurston. That evens the count at 2-2.
Now this is going to be he can go either way right here on this 2-2 pitch. He can go with the fastball or he can go with the breaking ball. I would go with the fastball on the inner half of the plate. That's the pitch that Thurston has had a little trouble against Moreno right now. If he goes to it, I believe he's able to get him out.
Big pitch here by Moreno. He tried to go down and in as he did earlier and just missed with that one in a full count.
That just shows you the veteran Joe Thurston, fourth All-Star game, AAA All-Star game. He did not bite. He bit early, but not now. And now he's got his hitters count. He is looking for the heater and see what happens. So far 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position, the IL.
Hanging in there. They call these quality at-bats. Glad you're with us tonight for the 2008 AAA All-Star Game from Louisville, Kentucky, here at Louisville Slugger Field, the IL and the NL. I'm Jim Kelch along with Eduardo Perez. Jonathan Mayo down on the sidelines. Goodness knows where he is now. I say sidelines behind the foul lines. Done the carousel earlier. Down in the dugouts, talking to us about the Olympic team.
He's been everywhere. He might be at the Overlook Grill in right center field.
We talked to him about that earlier. That's a unique perspective out there. Those fans who are right up against the wall, they're actually in play. They lean their arms over the yellow line. They're in play. Another 3-2 to left field. That's going to be a foul ball. Fall for a foul, close down the left field line, almost producing the game's first run.
Fans got on their feet right there. They want the International League to get the lead right here. But one thing about this stadium, there's not a bad seat in the house here. Every person has a wonderful seat, from the people in the box seats to the upper deck. You look around, just beautiful scenery all around. Scoreboard, wonderful. Both sides, the bridge in the background.
Infield now for the PCL is in. Runners at second and third, one out in this scoreless duel. Thurston with another foul ball pass first. He's really making Moreno work, isn't he?
Yes, he is, and Moreno's not giving in, even though first base is open. You got McClutchin on deck, a tough guy to double up, a guy that puts the ball in play. This is a big out. He's going for the strikeout. He wants to swing and a miss, and hasn't been able to do so far.
Thurston digs in again against the right-hander Moreno. And he takes it up and away for ball four. That's your classic at bat of just spoiling pitch, and finally Moreno can't get the strike, and now the bases are loaded.
That was a phenomenal at bat by Joe Thurston. Just making Moreno pitch. We might see a pitching change here by Pat Listash as you got McClutchin at the plate. It's going to be a decision to make if he's going to play the infield in or just play the corners in and the middle infield back. But he's going to make a pitching change before that decision is made.
J.R. Mathis is going to come into the game as a new pitcher for the PCL. We'll take a break and come back and take a look at the new pitcher into the game, J.R. Mathis, right after this.
For your Hilton Head Island vacation planner, call or click on HiltonHeadIsland.org today.
You know Tennessee State Parks for their beauty, recreation, and good nature. But have you ever considered one of your fine Tennessee State Parks for your next conference or gathering? Think about it. Our spacious meeting facilities all have one thing in common: the beauty of a natural park setting. Tennessee State Parks recently won the National Gold Medal Award for Excellence in Parks and Recreation Management. So choose us for your next meeting or conference. For conference center availability or more information, visit our website, Tennessee State Parks. Enjoy our good nature.
There's a place I know where you can feel the city rhythm, a place for the whole family to play. So won't you come on down where it's Mardi Gras all year? The real Louisiana is waiting for you here. So close, you're gonna love Jefferson. So close, and jet the world away.
Still a scoreless game here, but the IL threatening in the bottom of the seventh inning as this pitching change brought to you by Ticket Return. New pitcher into the game, left-hander J.R. Mathis.
J.R. features that fastball, and as number two pitches the cutter, throws a changeup and curveball. We're going to see him throw the cutter here to see if he can entice the double play. Interesting move by Pat Listash, taking the righty out and putting in the lefty to face the right-handed hitter in McClutchin.
Well, J.R. Mathis has not been stellar down the stretch toward the All-Star game in July. In 3 games, 2 starts, a 5.11 ERA. He comes into this game having been scored on in each of his last 5 times out. And he has a big situation here. Bases loaded, 1 out for Andrew McCutchin, who takes the first one down and in for ball 1. 6-3 mark, 3.57 ERA for Mathis. And here's McCutchin, who had a base hit his first time up. And he bounces this one toward third. That is a foul ball. Foul ball called by the home plate umpire Kevin Causey, as that ball had not quite reached third base yet.
And that's exactly the pitch Mathis wanted. Pitch inside, buried him in the hands. The chopper to third base would have been perfect, just a couple inches on the foul ball territory. But there's a game plan. There's a myth to the madness here. And he has to make that pitch again. Pat Listash, knowing his pitchers, knowing exactly what he can get. You see the defense, double play depth up the middle. They're counting on a hard ground ball to see if they can turn 2.
At 1-1, great location on that one by Mathis. A strike on the inside corner at 1-2. Now McCutchin, he's hitting .318 against lefties this year, .266 against right-handers. He had the base hit back in the 5th inning against Wing. Tapper to the right side. That's going to produce the game's first run as a second baseman charged and couldn't make the play. And the IL has taken the lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the 7th inning as Chris Barnwell came on, tried to field that ball and couldn't get the job done.
Well, right there, Chris Barnwell, once the ball is hit, he should have known that there's not a play at the plate. You see right there, the jump at third base. There's not going to be a play at the plate. Just take the out at first base, get one, sacrifice yourself, hope that your offense can tie the game. Did not do so. Right now you have bases loaded, 1 out, and you have power at the plate. You have to throw the ball over the plate to get this man out with the bases loaded. Nowhere to hide.
IL's leader in home runs taps one to third. They're going to go to first as a second run will score out there for the second out of the inning. But credit Hessman with a run batted in as the third baseman of the PCL, Matt Brown, thought about it. You could see there, Eduardo, about coming home, but realized he didn't have the play.
Well, you see him. He charges the ball well right there. Looks, makes the right decision, throws, gets the out at first base. That would have been done at second base earlier on. You would have been out of the inning only with 1 run. Now, pitcher Mathis did a phenomenal job enticing, getting 2 ground balls. Unfortunately, they were soft hit, and they weren't able to turn 2 with it. Or at least get the force out at home. Sorry.
Mathis is now going to be relieved in this game as Pat Listash comes out still one more time. He only has the 2 pitchers left on his staff. And this is going to be, let's take a look here, coming into the game for the PCL as we try to...
This is Gino Espinelli right now coming in from Fresno.
Espinelli comes on. And he's going to face the left-hander Chris Carter, who's in the on-deck area. So Gino Espinelli is into the game now.
And this right here, Pat Listash knows Espinelli's very uncomfortable on left-handed hitters. He throws a fastball, changeup, and he throws a slider sidearm. See where he comes completely across his body. And this kid right here, very tough on lefties. Very tough.
Well, a 2-0 Bats lead, pardon me, a 2-0 IL lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Infield single by McCutcheon. Infield ground out by Hessman as the new pitcher Espinelli finishes his warm-up tosses. We talked about the bats. I just inadvertently made the mistake of saying bats, and this is the home of the bats. And the baseball here, as you heard the mayor talk about earlier, has a long history. Team came to Louisville in 1982, this franchise. It was a St. Louis Cardinal affiliate for a long time and a little 2-year stretch with Milwaukee. But since 2000, when this ballpark opened with Cincinnati, there's Vince Coleman in his Cardinal, in the Cardinal days here, then with Kansas City. There's Todd Zeile, who wore about every major league uniform there was. He was a great player back in the late 80s. And hey, that man's not carrying a football, but he was a baseball player for a while. Deion Sanders, and there's the big man, Adam Dunn, who was terrific in this ballpark and in the AAA All-Star game up in Indianapolis not that long ago. And there's the man they call the meat hook, Dimitri Young.
Oh, and the meat hook, I played against him when I was in Indianapolis, and he was here in Louisville, and he could hit anywhere he went. There you see Espinelli warming up. He falls so far off to the first base side. See those numbers. You don't really see a lot of those guys tall, lanky like that. And these guys throw forever. It's a 1.46 ERA in 49 1/3 innings. 57 strikeouts. It's out. Lanky, just he can just throw it from any angle. And against lefties, he loves just coming with the slider. Fastball slider does not feature much of a change against them.
He's one of those guys that when you look at numbers and you talk about the whip, the hits and the walks, his whip with 6 walks and 46 hits, he has given up 52 hits and walks compared to 52 innings, and that's pretty darn impressive.
It is. He's young, and San Francisco has a lot of raw arms in their organization. This is one of them, as you see Chris Carter coming up at the plate right now.
7th man in the bat in the inning. He's second in the IL with 66 runs batted in, and he has a big RBI chance here with second and third occupied and 2 men out, in the IL breaking through here in the bottom of the 7th, taking a 2-0 lead, looking for their 3rd consecutive win in this series and their 5th in the last 6 games. Carter takes it outside. Eduardo, how tough is it from a left-hander, Carter, to hang in there against this lefty?
Oh, it's very tough. His angle, it comes out completely from a different area than it does from any other left-hander he faces. He just throws across his body. And if he can get that slider down and away and get Carter to chase, he's in trouble. You see Carter right now is just very uncomfortable at the plate.
Your natural tendency, I would guess, is just to try to, not even if you don't want to, you bail out a little bit.
You bail out. You want to stay in there. You have to trust that he's going to throw it over the plate and not at you. Right now, it's a prime situation for a slider down and away by Espinelli.
And there's strike 3 call. Well, strikeouts have been the theme tonight, and Espinelli comes on and does a great job with Carter getting the strike 3. But 2 runs on the board as McCutcheon gets the infield hit, scoring the first run. Hespin with a ground out produces the second run. 2-0 IL after 7.
Trip at visitsyracuse.org.
We're the sights, sounds, and color of Colorado. All come together in the majestic embrace of America's most beloved mountain, Pikes Peak. Lose yourself among the wonders. Find yourself in Colorado Springs. Call toll-free 1-877-PIKES PEAK for vacation ideas of a lifetime. Colorado Springs at Pikes Peak. It's as Colorado as it gets.
532, 533, 530.
Crazy times call for crazy fun. Enter the Ultimate Vegas Escape Sweepstakes at visitlasvegas.com.
Like the sea itself, Nauticus is ever-changing. Oh, you can still count on enjoying all your favorites, like touching a live shark, designing a virtual battleship, and walking the deck of a real one. But like the sea, you can also count on surprising new wonders with every visit, like the Great White Fleet and the new high-definition film Gateway to the World. Don't miss a fascinating new exhibit, Seabots. Play with this underwater camera and learn more about under-the-sea operations. Nauticus on the downtown Norfolk waterfront.
ESPN's Game of the Week features 2 of the top teams in the American League, Manny Ramirez and the Boston Red Sox, and Vladimir Guerrero and the LA Angels of Anaheim. Each team is looking to start the second half with a bang. That's Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell on ESPN at a special start time of 6 Eastern. Coverage begins with Baseball Tonight, driven by Chevy at 5 Eastern. New pitcher into the game now for the IL. This is the right-hander Jason Childers.
Jason featuring his fastball, cutter, curveball, and changeup has been very nasty so far this season. 33 years of age, but don't let it fool you. He looks like he's 25 out there, and he's really enjoying the experience that he's been able to have throughout these years. He feels very comfortable on the mound, a lot of confidence, and first thing he told me, he's like, man, I wish my brother was here. He really wanted to play with him. And he felt he had the numbers to get here, and he was unfortunate not to. But, hey, not a lot of people can get to this level and play at this All-Star game. Hopefully they get to play somewhere else together.
Top of the 8th inning now. And for the PCL, Matt Brown leading it off. We're talking about Jason's brother, Matt. Jason is 33, Matt's 28, but they played together over the course of their careers on 8 different teams as they came up through the Brewers organization and also in the Boston system, the Richmond Braves, they played together. They went a lot of spots where they were together on the same team.
They're tied, even though with that 5-year age differential, probably like a 5-inch differential too. Matt's a lot bigger than Jason is, and And he goes after the hitters, pitches real quick on the mound, very good mound presence.
He has 38 2/3 innings worth of pitching time this year, and his combined hits, walks are at 30, so he's had incredible control and been able to do a great job with a 1.40 ERA. Pro since 1997, Jason Childers, non-drafted initially back in that year by Milwaukee.
He's got 7 2/3 innings experience at the major league level with Tampa Bay.
It's a strike in there, and it's 3-2 to Matt Brown. Mark Sacamano waits on deck. 2-0 now. The International League Stars leading in the top of the 8th inning. And that one missed just outside. Only 9 walks and 38 2/3 innings so far this year for Jason Childers. And there's the runner on to start the 8th. And before we move on, let's check in with Jonathan Mayo. Jonathan.
Thanks, Jim. Great view of what Childers is doing out there. Great story. A guy you want to root for. Non-drafted free agent. That means 50 rounds went by and not a single team took him. He's risen up to AAA now. He said he made his big league debut at the age of 31. So some staying power and some stick-to-itiveness for Childers, and his brother as well that you mentioned. And he wanted me to mention he's got a pair of twin girls at home watching him pitch as we're watching this, guys.
He's a native of Statesboro, Georgia, pitching here in the top of the 8th inning. Jonathan's got that great view out there. If he had a glove and somebody hits one out there, he could be the extra outfielder. It'd be like a softball game, a 10th player.
Kind of worried about him out there. I really don't know if he can catch one if it's gone over there. Hopefully there's somebody with a glove next to him.
And what about if he leaned forward to try to catch it, lost his balance, all of a sudden he's right out there by Andrew McCutcheon.
Oh my. Interference with he would be kicked out of the game, wouldn't he?
18-foot wall out there. The overlooked deck in right center field.
See right now the PCL trying to put a little pressure on the International League after they allowed 2 runs. They desperately need runs, especially with Luis Pena warming up in the bullpen.
Nice block there by Ryan Hannigan. 1 ball and 1 strike, and listen to the appreciative Louisville crowd giving Hannigan a nice round of applause there on that block.
So far he's shown he's been able to do it all. He's got the base hits, got the blocks behind the plate, got Nelson Cruz at second base.
PCL trying to avoid a shutout in this game. They were blanked 2 years ago up in Toledo, 6-0 by the IL Stars. International League's only shutout since the 2 leagues started playing one another back in 1998. When you played, it was the NL versus the AL, and there were 3 leagues, as you talked about earlier.
Oh, they changed it up. I actually enjoyed it, that format, as a player, because you get to see and you get to have teammates that you really never saw, and I got to meet a lot of players. If it's the Jim Tomes, the J.R. Phillips, which was at Edmonton at the time. You had Lee Stevens on my team. It's just a very good team, and I was really excited about being together with them.
Now, you played in that '93 game in Albuquerque at Sports Stadium, and then you worked the game last year at Isotopes Park. Big difference there, right?
Unbelievable difference. I got there, and I had no idea how they were able to do what they did, and I was completely in awe of that stadium, and so many AAA stadiums now made the conversion.
Flare to right field, and a nice running grab out there by Brent Cleveland of the Toledo Mud Hens, who had started in center and moved over to right. He got a great jump on that ball.
Yes, he did, and that's and he's known for that. Last year he went up. He had a big impact for the Detroit Tigers, and you see him right there. That's how versatile he is. He can play all positions. Started today in center field, has moved to right, and you want guys like that on your ball club.
Here's Osvaldo Navarro now, the shortstop. 1 on and 1 out. He's from Tacoma, the Tacoma Rainiers in the Seattle organization, hitting .271 with 17 runs batted in this season.
Played with Osvaldo in Seattle a couple years ago. That's where I ended my career. And good kid, good hands, very fluid at the plate. Pedro Grifol, the field coordinator for the Seattle Mariners, really likes this kid. He's come a long ways, and great personality, great attitude, great team ball play.
He's ahead of the count, 2-0. That one just misses low, and now it's 3 balls and no strikes.
You see how far he stands at the plate, from the plate. Not a lot of smaller sized guys do that. You see a lot of big guys be able to do it, like the Jack Clarks, the Mike Schmidts back in the days. They used to stand far from the plate, but Oswaldo stands a lot farther than most of the hitters now do, and he's been able to draw a walk. Childers, how many walks did he have before coming into today?
He had 9 walks in 38 2/3 innings coming into this game. Had only walked 1 player since the middle of June, so almost a month. Now he walks 2 in the All-Star game.
How about that? We start talking about his control, and the next thing you know, my man has 2 at the plate. But he's going to try to get himself out of it, as you have Ellis coming up at the plate.
A.J. Ellis, the catcher for Las Vegas, the Dodgers AAA team, at 294, 2 homers and 40 RBIs. He represents, as he stands in there, the go-ahead run for the PCL here in the top of the 8th. And a strike, strike 1.
That's exactly what Childers has to do, get ahead in the count. If he does that, then the hitters will start chasing.
Childers walks off the back of the mound. Take a look at A.J. Ellis. Last 2 years he's been in Jacksonville. Finally gets a shot at the AAA level this year. He's an 18th round pick. 2003 by the Dodgers. Played collegiately in the state of Tennessee at Austin Peay down in Clarksville, Tennessee. And he takes that one outside, and Childers clearly struggling with his command here in the 8th inning.
Yes, he is, and Pat, you're going to have to stick with him. Dave Miley knows that he's got a limited amount of pitchers out there. He can't overextend some of their guys, so he's going to go with Childers this inning and count that he can get his control back.
Breaking ball that misses down and in, and now he's fallen behind. 2 balls and 1 strike. A walk to Brown started this inning. Sacamano flied to right. Good play by the right fielder Brent Cleveland to make the catch on the ball, and then Navarro drew the walk. So here it is with Ellis ahead on the count at 2-1. Tying runs on. Go ahead run at the plate in the top of the 8th. And he misses high, and now it's 3-1.
Uncharted territories for Childress so far this year. He's been so spectacular with his control, and these guys, this is the difference between these players playing now and the rest of the season. These guys know the strike zone. They're making the pitcher get him into a hitter's count, and that's exactly what they've done. And Childress does not feel comfortable throwing that 3-1 pitch over the plate.
He gets one in there at the knees, a strike, and it's 3-2.
Beautiful pitch on the black right there for Childress. The 3-1 pitch, the hitter wants to pitch in this location here. He gets it there. Tell you what, perfect.
3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 on and 1 out. And a ball hit off the glove of the pitcher to the second baseman. Nice play and an out at first base.
Beautiful play by Thurston, but Childers right there, his own worst enemy. That could have been a ground ball double play to get 2 with the catcher running. Instead, he gets a little glove on it. That will be called a 1-4-3 ground ball out. Good play by Thurston.
Sorry, Eduardo. Christian Colonel's going to be the batter, and yeah, that probably would have been a 4-6-3. Ted Power, who's the pitching coach here in Louisville, who is a good friend of Dave Miley, the manager of the IL team. He is with this ball club because they didn't have a pitching coach per se. They had 3 managers but no pitching coach.
Well, he went to Niagara Falls for a couple days, came back at 4 o'clock, and now he's here. And Ted Power and I, we go way back. He was one of the players that really embraced me in the 80s when my father was also with the Cincinnati Reds. Used to hang out a lot with Ted during batting practice. We used to play a game called 500. That's shagging baseballs. Every time you caught a fly ball, it would be 25 points. We had a really good time. Ted taught me how to do my knot in the tie right here. And when I saw him, I was really excited. He's a good man and a good family guy. Lives in Sarasota.
Swing and a miss now, and strike one. This is Barnwell at the plate. I said Colonel. Barnwell at the plate. Chris Barnwell from the Albuquerque Isotopes and the Florida Marlins, hitting .275 with 6 homers and 42 RBIs. And a ball hit in the air to center. Going to be playable for McCutchen, and a threat, but no runs produced by PCL in the top of the 8th inning. And we'll be back to Louisville right after this.
The ESPYs, hosted by Justin Timberlake, Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Here's the windup. The pitch is low.
You want passion? You've come to the right place. This is America. Passion was invented here. In your face, my team rocks. Your team couldn't hit the side of a barn. Passion. And only at Bank of America can you wear your passion on your card. That's my expression banking. You're not just someone with a dull plastic card. You're someone with heart. A little out there, but with heart. Want to let the world know where your passions lie? You can with Bank of America. Bank of Opportunity.
Hey, Chet, you got a sec? Sure. What's up? You know those blue price drop circles you printed for Meyer?
The ones where you save everywhere you see them in the store? Yeah. I did 10,000 of those.
Notice anything wrong?
It's not a circle.
You know what shape this is?
Trapezoid?
No.
Quadrilateral?
It's an isosceles rectangle.
It's a rhombus.
It's a rhombus.
Remember, for greater savings, look for the blue price drop circle.
There is a place where the greatest fist fighter of all time can create an institution dedicated to world peace, that can turn a scrap metal yard into one of the coolest ball fields created in decades, where people can be open, honest, down to earth, while living in a top 20 American city. Such a place isn't possible, you say? Oh, it's more than possible. It's Possibility City, Louisville. It's possible here.
ESPN's presentation of the AAA All-Star Game, brought to you by Bank of America, Bank of Opportunity, Meyer, higher standards, lower prices, and Louisville, it's possible here.
2-0 International League Stars as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Let's go down to the dugout. Jonathan and Andrew McCutchen.
Thanks, Jim. Andrew, 2 hits today, maybe in line for an MVP. How much do you enjoy playing in this kind of game?
Oh, man, it was awesome, especially to be able to come up in that situation. I just felt like I had to come through for the team, and, you know, I was able to do it. It was a little hit, but, hey, it worked.
Looks like a line drive in the box score, right?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Now, it's been a little bit of a crazy few days for you. Futures game in New York, then coming here. What has the last few days meant for you?
It's been awesome. You know, I haven't got a lot of rest, but it's worth it. Being able to go to New York with his last year there, and being able just to play on that field and to come here at the same time and play here as well. It's been an honor to play here, and I've been having a lot of fun.
Last question for you. I know there's a lot of trade rumors up in Pittsburgh with those corner outfielders. Is that something you pay at least some loose attention to in terms of a possible call-up?
Just a little bit, but not as much. I still have to concentrate on where I'm at, and it's here in AAA, and I'm going to continue to keep practicing hard and working hard here.
All right, Andrew, thanks very much. Thank you. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. Andrew McCutchen didn't start, but 2 for 2, and as Jonathan said, maybe in line for the MVP of this game.
Yes, he is, and one thing about Andrew with that interview right there, you can see how well composed he is. He's a very good interviewee, and you can tell how well he had his head on his shoulders. Very impressed right now with the way he's handling everything. Andrew McCutchen's going to be a star for a long time.
Jonathan Van Every fouled that ball. Here's Andrew McCutchen. This is Sunday at Yankee Stadium in the Futures game. Good speed, was able to run down that baseball. That's one of his better attributes, isn't it?
He's been adding those miles, that's for sure, this weekend. And his family was with him yesterday in the Louisville Slugger Museum, and really enjoyed the whole festivities here in Louisville, and it's been an honor to be here. One thing I can tell you is this pitcher on the mound right now, he is absolutely filthy to left-handed hitters. They just do not feel comfortable. They do not see the ball well off them.
Well, Gino Espinelli came on to face Carter in the 7th and got him looking, and now this is what he does to Jonathan Van Every. Gets him looking. Two batters faced, two batters struck out, both looking, one out in the bottom of the 8th. And now Brent Cleveland stands in there. He started and has played this entire game from the Toledo Mud Hens. And without a hit thus far tonight, nothing out of 3. Now, does a guy start pitching like this, Eduardo? Had he possibly been a more traditional 3/4 fellow who took the advice of a pitching coach somewhere and developed this style?
Well, usually what you see is coaches tend to fix the arm angle a lot more than they do where they land. This kid throws across his body. He seems to be very comfortable doing so. And also having the angle, I mean, it's devastating. You see where he lands, his long stride. Very wiry. You see a lot of, there was a pitcher with the Boston Red Sox by the name of Rogelio Moret, that used to pitch a little bit like him. And just very uncomfortable on left-handed hitters. You see the righties get a better view from the angle than lefties do.
Brent Cleveland gets a solid base knock there. He's 1 out of 4 in this game. And you talked about where Espinelli ends up, way over on the first base side. And here's a look at Espinelli. He has a vicious jerk there at the end of his delivery, doesn't he?
Oh, most definitely. You see right there the angle. It's tough to get a hold of with Espinelli there.
1 on and 1 out now for Barbaro Canizares. He had a base hit that started that 2-run 7th inning. Did not start the game, but had the solid single in the left. Scored the game's first run. He's at 1 ball and 1 strike. 8 hits now for the International League in this game. All singles. No extra base hits. In fact, only the double by Matt Brown in the 5th inning for the PCL makes this not an all singles game. Strike to Canizares, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, even though he's 1-2 right now, Barbaro loves hitting against left-handers, and he knows this is where the money's at right now for him. He hit over .417 last season against lefties. He's scuffling right now, hitting over 330 against them now this season. So he loves the lefties. He doesn't cut off his swing too much. Feels comfortable going the other way. The only place he could have trouble is on the inner half right now if Espinelli can jam it in there. If not, Barbaro should feel comfortable hitting a ball into the right center gap.
He's up there with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Strike 3 called, and that one looked like it went from one side of the plate to the other, Eduardo.
It's just crossing over the plate. Canizares thought it was going to be a lot more in than what it was. But just devastating motion. Right there, he freezes him, loses his feet, gets him off the ground, and then he gives him the trout look right there. That means, you ever gone fishing for trout?
Sure.
When you get them, they look at you, they're like, why did you do that?
I was having such a good life. Well, we're going to get a pitching change here as the hard-throwing right-hander Luis Pena is going to enter the game. Now, you were talking about him earlier, and you've got Pena on the PCL side and the man in the bullpen, Blaine Neal, on the IL side. The 2 flamethrowers are going to be the last 2 that get in this game, it looks like.
Well, they're going to get Luis in the game. This is a phenomenal job right now by Pat Listash, knowing that his team's down 2-0 and might not be able to have him for the closing as his team struggles to score runs. Luis Pena, I went into the clubhouse and I asked him, I said, what does Luis throw? And everybody jumped up at the same time and said, this guy's absolutely filthy. He throws cheese, throws a cutter, and then he comes with a split finger that's absolutely devastating. This guy is going to make an impact at the major league level soon if he continues to be as filthy as he has been.
Well, he has no big league time. His numbers this year, 1 win, 1 loss, and 14 saves, which is second best in the PCL. That's a look at the International League dugout. There are players in there. There are batting practice pitchers. There's the medical staff of the IL. Everybody enjoying themselves tonight here at the ballpark for the AAA All-Star game in Louisville.
It's been a fun sight for everyone. I know the players, ever since they arrived here in Louisville, they've had fun, and And they've just put on a show all throughout. Monday with the home run contest, and also the past stars, the Todd Benzingers, the Ron Osters, the Tommy Helms, Lee May, which is like a father to me, came from Cincinnati, came down and did autographs. I grew up in his home. It's just it's a fun time, fun event that Louisville has been able to put on here. 2 years ongoing for this beautiful night. Fortunately, the weather has cooperated, and it's been a lot of fun.
Well, Ryan Hannigan, he's another one that's had a very good game. He didn't start this game, but he had the base hit in the 7th inning following Canizares' hit that started the frame, and then he threw the runner out. So two players from this area, Louisville and Hannigan, and McCutcheon from Indianapolis, which is only 2 hours north of here, both have had very good nights for the International League Stars.
Well, he's about to see a young kid that can really throw at 98 miles per hour, but let's not forget how big this kid is. He's 6'5" on paper. He looks a lot bigger than that on the mound. When he gets extended, it's not 60 feet 6 inches or even 55 feet. He really gets out there, sort of like a Randy Johnson that really has that extension with 98 miles per hour and still growing.
Runner going. The throw is high and a stolen base for Brent Cleveland.
Dave Miley putting those runners in motion. He sees how slow Luis is to the plate. See Cleveland right here.
He doesn't have an overly large lead.
He doesn't. He looks in the entire way, sort of a la hit and run, even though it's not, with 2 outs, and still is comfortably at the plate.
Hannigan takes it low. Now it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Luis Pena, 25 years old, 14 saves, second in the league, 39 appearances. His walk numbers are probably one of the issues they'd like to straighten out. 27 walks, 37 innings, Eduardo.
Absolutely, and that's because of the split finger, and he needs to throw. That's his out pitch. You can throw hard, you can throw 98, you can throw 99, but if you don't have that secondary pitch and guys to chase out of the zone, that deceiving pitch, guys are going to let it go, and you're going to end up with a lot of walks.
He's looking to get the final out here in the bottom of the 8th inning to give his PCL team a chance in the top of the 9th, only down by a couple. And Hannigan swings and misses, and that looked like the splitter right there.
That's the 94 mile per hour splitter, and that's what makes him so devastating. He gets that pitch over the plate. See ya.
Luis Pena gets the final out of the bottom of the 8th inning, and so the PCL one more chance in the top of the 9th when we come back.
Steve Nash!
Brendan, how are you?
I'm all right, man.
I hear you got the new Mummy movie coming out.
Yeah, we got a 3rd one coming out.
I love mummies.
You love mummies?
Yeah, I grew up loving mummies and studied them in college.
Are you hurt? Are you?
Nope, all good.
Well, then why are you wrapping up?
I like it. You want to have a seat? Here, let me bandage you up.
Gotta go.
Watch SportsCenter July 31st at 11 p.m. for an exclusive look at The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, in theaters August 1st.
Every summer, the reruns start
when broadcast TV goes on vacation.
Who cares? Cable TV is where the action is, with fresh original programming.
This is the summer of fun.
Cable TV premieres its new season this summer with all new episodes of The Closer,
Saving Grace,
Law and Order,
Army Wives,
Major League Baseball,
the Summer Olympics,
and more.
With something exciting for everyone.
The summer of fun starts here with your favorite cable TV networks.
This is where the action is.
So in charges this agile 24 miles per gallon crossover. And suddenly, everything looks a little different. Discover Flex from Ford.
2-0 International League leading as we go to the top of the 9th inning of this game. The 2 in the bottom of the 7th. The only tally in this 21st annual AAA All-Star game, which has featured many a strikeout. In fact, 27 of them. Luis Pena getting Ryan Hannigan in the bottom of the 8th inning was number 27, a new strikeout mark in the AAA All-Star game history. And here's some of the strikeouts tonight. First, Eduardo, you said maybe the sun and the shadows had a lot to do with it early.
It had to, but late on, it doesn't really matter. These guys were just devastating. You see all different angles of pitchers throwing. These hitters were never able to get comfortable. Obviously, a lot of these pitchers go sometimes more than one inning, so they were able to let it go. They were able to let it go in that one inning, and hitters just had no chance.
All but one pitcher on each side who appeared in this game had at least one strikeout, so everybody had the K ball going tonight, and as I mentioned, a new strikeout record. 22 strikeouts tonight. I think I said 27. 22 strikeouts tonight. The previous mark was 21.
Well, you saw how pitchers dominated yesterday in the All-Star game in New York, and today they've even been more devastating, and that just lets you know that pitching is on the rise again, and that's what teams are concentrating on, developing pitchers. As you see Blaine Neal, the USA Olympian closer, right now on the mound.
Neal tops in the International League in saves this year. He has 23 with a 1.39 ERA.
Well, I spoke with Blaine today, congratulated him, and the first thing he said is, hey, dude, I haven't seen my wife in 2 months. Please tell Carrie and my 2 sons I said hello and much love. So, Blaine, I'm getting that message out there to you.
Hard hit into left field. That's going to fall for a base hit. And the PCL gets the leadoff man on here in the top of the 9th inning, bringing the tying run to the plate.
Stavanoa getting some good wood on that ball right there. This guy got called up this season to play interleague against the Boston Red Sox. Umpires greeted him with a wide strike zone, welcoming him to the big leagues, but he's able to get some good wood. A guy that puts a lot of contact on the ball, and that's exactly what he did today.
The tying run now comes to the plate for the PCL in the person of Terry Tiffy, who takes a first pitch strike.
Well, this is the guy you want out there right now. He leads the league in hitting, 393. He's due because he's 0 for 3, but he's facing Blaine Neal, which as you said, Jim, is tops in league in saves.
Top closer against the top hitter. Good matchup here in the top of the 9th inning, and he's quickly down 2 strikes from Neal.
Got him, and then you got Nelson Cruz on deck. Exactly what Pat Listash would want to have going into the 9th inning if you're down by 2. Guys that can hit that ball out of the ballpark.
Hard hit and foul past first base. A sellout crowd announced here this evening at 13,131. Louisville still holds the record for the largest attendance at the AAA All-Star game when they hosted it back at Old Cardinal Stadium in 1991 with over 20,000. That was the combined football baseball venue that you were so nice to talk about earlier, the artificial turf. And this is a baseball stadium, not a multi-sport facility. You see not only big league teams now, but minor league teams going away from those stadiums also.
Oh, and they're just investing. These towns, these cities are investing in places like this. And as the mayor said earlier, there was really not much around this area. And now because of the stadium, you have life around it. And that's exactly what the mayor wanted. He's definitely done a great job over here in this town.
There's a strikeout and a ball that gets away, and the runner's going to be out because he cannot run with the first base occupied in less than 2 out. And so Tiffy is a strikeout. He tried to sell that, but the umpires are on top of their game tonight.
He tried to sell it, but he didn't get a hold of it. You got a veteran guy behind the plate, young but veteran, knows the game, and that's exactly what you want. Great block by him. Even though the runner advances to second, that runner does not mean much. The runner at the plate is the one that means a lot.
Charge Neal with a wild pitch. Here's a look at it.
See right there, it's tough when you don't catch a pitcher on a daily basis, and you got to forget about that runner at second base.
Good look at the 30-year-old Blaine Neal. Gets a fly ball into right field here, into the corner, chased out there by Brent Cleveland, and that ball is foul. That looked like it bounced right off the railing down there and into fair play, but Brent Cleveland chased it a long way, and it's a long foul ball.
Great. Hey, what great effort by Cleveland right there. It's tough because there's no padding on the under part of that wall right there. As you see, he's checking his knee, and he's limping a little bit.
That's a tough play to make, isn't it? Because you're trying to catch the ball and focus on it, and you're also very aware that the wall is coming at breakneck speed right at you.
Oh, most definitely. You know, the Detroit Tigers were cringing right there, seeing him slide as you have Nelson Cruz. This is the perfect situation Pat Listash wants. His power hitter at the plate. Number 4 hitter against the closer.
Number 2 in the PCL in home runs with 26. Second in the PCL in RBIs with 74. And number 2 in on-base percentage in the PCL also at a .440 average. So he's a big on-base guy. There's one way outside. Looked like he may have tried to overthrow that one.
Well, look at these numbers that Nelson Cruz has put up in the last 2 seasons in Oklahoma City. In 463 at-bats at Oklahoma City, combined between 2007 and 2008, 41 home runs, 119 RBIs, and a .343 average. I don't care if you're playing at the Moon, in the PCL, wherever. Those are gaudy numbers, and this guy is proving to the Texas Rangers and the rest of the league that he belongs in the major leagues.
He's a terrific athlete. Is also a very good basketball player in the Dominican. He takes one high there. That's ball 4. And Blaine Neal, who has converted 23 of 25 save opportunities this year for the Toledo Mud Hens, walks Cruz, and the tying runs are on.
Well, this is another nice matchup right now. You got Jamie D'Antona not using my bat now.
He worked with you on that twice.
Well, we'll let him be. We'll let him go back to his comfort zone. This is the home run derby champ on Monday.
And let's face it, the game is on the line here.
The game is on the line. I do not blame him one bit.
He's 0 for 3 in tonight's game. He takes the first pitch strike. Ironic, isn't it, that he won the home run derby? His 15 home runs was the fewest of any of the 6 participants in the home run derby. But at .375, he's second in the PCL in hitting. Fair ball past first base. Here comes one run to the plate. Here goes Cruz headed over to third. It's a 2-1 game as the PCL will not be shut out here in Louisville, Kentucky tonight. Well, he uses his own bat, gets the single.
D'Antona, now we know why he's hitting over .370. He's not just a pull hitter. Got that ball on the outer part of the plate, goes with it, doesn't try to do too much. Hitters in this situation try to be a hero. He just put the ball in play. I got a text message today from A.J. Hinch, and he told me, he said, Eddie, once a hitter, always a hitter. This guy can flat out rake, and exactly what he did today was hit. That linea down the line.
He gets the line drive down the right field line, or as you like to call it, the linea down the right field line, making it a 2-1 game. 5th hit by the PCL Stars, and Ted Power goes out to talk to Blaine Neal.
A straight quote by A.J. Hinch today in the text message was, as a player, he's more of an offensive player than anything. Hitters get hits, and he fits that. And that's exactly what D'Antona did right there. Use the entire field.
International League now has its last pitcher available throwing in the bullpen, a right-hander, Garrett Mock. Rare this year has Blaine Neal been in these kind of situations. Deals now with Matt Brown, and there's a strike. Strike 1. There's a look at Garrett Mock from the Columbus Clippers. He's appeared this year in the big leagues with the Washington Nationals. Brown has a hit and a walk tonight. He lines one up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. That's going to tie the game as Cruz will score. And for 8 innings, the PCL is shut out. And in the top of the 9th, they produced 2 thus far. Still only 1 out, and have evened this game here in the 9th.
Great piece of hitting by Matt Brown. I mean, Blaine Neal made a nice pitch, but these hitters are not trying to do too much. They're just trying to keep the ball in the middle of the yard, and that's exactly what they've been able to do. They've tied the game on base hits.
Well, that's 3 hits and a walk now against Blaine Neal in this 9th inning. He gets a nasty breaking ball there to Sacamano for strike 1. You take a look at the day-by-day of Blaine Neal this year. He's appeared in 33 games, and in not one of them has he given up 3 hits in an outing until tonight at the All-Star game.
Things happen when you face quality hitters. These guys make you work, and that's exactly why it's a lot tougher right now here in Louisville than it is on a daily basis in Toledo.
No balls and 2 strikes to Sacamano. Osvaldo Navarro waits on deck. That's one that just misses outside, 1-2. Sacamano in the game, 1 out of 3. Base hit back in the 3rd. Lined out in the 5th. Foul ball back.
They're taking good hacks right now at Blaine's fastball, 98 miles per hour. They're just putting some wood on it.
And the PCL came into this game with 10 pitchers. They've used them all. The IL came in with 9, and this is their 8th. And another foul back to the screen as Sacamano hangs in there against the hard-throwing right-hander Blaine Neal.
See Navarro on deck, eager to get another opportunity.
Osvaldo walked back in the 8th inning in his first plate appearance of this game. Ball hit up the middle. That's through. That's a base hit for Sacamano. Here comes D'Antonio as the go-ahead run, and he will slide across safely. And the PCL has had a 3-run uprising here in the top of the 9th inning to take a 3-2 lead.
Great piece of hitting by Sacamano, and they just keep hitting the ball in the middle of the yard. They're not trying to do too much with it, as we see McCutcheon showing off his arm, but good piece of hitting. Right there, gets his hands extended on a slider away to right up the middle. McCutcheon charges the ball very well, but D'Antonio just had a good jump at second base.
Throw came a little bit wide, but it was going to be late anyway.
Pat Listash being aggressive at third base, pumped up as he was in the right situation in the lineup. Gets these guys in.
He had that right arm waving, didn't he?
Yes, he did. I don't blame him. He's got to go ice it afterwards. It's been dormant for 8 innings, and all of a sudden he puts show on in the 8th inning, putting 3 on the top half.
3 consecutive hits, 4 hits in the inning, and 5 base runners in this frame against Blaine Neal, and a 3-2 PCL lead here in the top of the 9th inning. So now the IL has to think about getting 2 more outs without any further damage, and then trying to get something done in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Most definitely, and now you have Osvaldo at the plate. They call him Ozzy. This kid loves to hit balls to right field. I know of his hitting coach at AAA, Alonzo Powell's watching right now. He's saying, hit the ball to right, go with it.
Now the IL, Eduardo, will have to do against the hard-throwing Pena what the PCL has done here against the hard-throwing Neal.
Absolutely.
Not easy.
Not easy, but the PCL has the right guy on the mound in Luis Pena, and it's going to be a tough task to get a hold of Luis.
Well, their last 2 in Espinelli, the lefty, and then Pena, the righty. A couple of hard guys to stand in there against and make contact, aren't they?
Oh, most definitely. But the approach that the PCL has had in this inning is phenomenal. They really haven't pulled any balls away. As you see right there, bad hop on Cañizares, and another run's going to score. Joe Madden calls this jug runs right now. Any run that you can get to put the team down and go for the jugular is a great run. And right now, Ozzy hit the ball. Cañizares tried to backhand it, but a bad hop, and things are just not going the International League's way right now.
That's going to be an error against Cañizares. He tried to backhand that ball.
And that's a tough error right there. That's a tough error as you see the bad hop at the end come up. I don't know of anyone that's a right-handed first baseman can get a hold of that ball. A late hop, hit him right off the wrist.
Well, that made a 4th run cross the plate for the PCL, and Dave Miley has come out of the dugout. He's made a pitching change. You saw Blaine Neal go into the dugout, and now the right-hander Garrett Mock is the new pitcher into the game for the IL. We'll come back with more baseball from Louisville right after this.
There is a state where cities are built around golf, where there are more golf courses per capita than any other state in America, where summer temperatures are cooler, green fees lower, and golf balls fly higher. Utah, the state of sport. Elevate your game. Visit playutahgolf.com.
I've been traveling over mountains, even through the valleys too. I kept traveling night and day. I kept running all the way, baby, trying to get to you.
Make sure to get your world-famous Toledo Mud Hens merchandise at Fifth Third Field by phone at 419-725-HENS or 24 hours a day online at mudhens.com.
New pitcher of the game for the IL. Their final pitcher available is the right-hander Garrett Mock from the Columbus Clippers. He's a starter, but he's appearing here in the 9th inning as Blaine Neal has given up 4 runs thus far.
And this is an unusual situation right here for Mock. It usually takes him a lot more time to get loose, but he had to do it in a hurry. And unfamiliar territories, let's see how he reacts to it. He's got very nice numbers so far this season. It's going to be interesting how he attacks the zone early on and see if he's loose enough.
Well, it's first and second with 2 men out. Pardon me, with 1 man out. And 4 runs home for the PCL. As Garrett Mock with a record of 5-3 and a 3.28 ERA in 16 starts for the Columbus Clippers, the longtime affiliate of the New York Yankees, but now in their 2nd year with the Washington Nationals, comes on and tries to get 2 more outs. Gets a first pitch in there, a strike to A.J. Ellis. First-year AAA player A.J. Ellis. Another one that's done much, much better versus right-handers as opposed to lefties. 319 against righties, 182 against left-handers this season. Good breaking ball, strike 2.
Absolutely good breaking ball right there. As you see the outfield, you see how close and shallow McCutchen is playing right there in center field. It's that you see a few players doing it. Andrew Jones used to do it in his day, and he can attack the ball well when it comes in, and going back, we saw one hit over his head, but he was able to get to it. So speed dominates. As you see this one going over his head right now, and this could score 2.
This is going to make it a 6-run top of the 9th inning for the PCL as A.J. Ellis comes up with a big double to the alley and right center field against Garrett Mock.
Beautiful piece of hitting right there as we were demonstrating how close McCutchen was playing in center field. But you see him right there, the swing, short stride, going with it to right center, making those outfielders run and get it. Every time you see an outfielder's number going back, you know you have good things coming towards you. McCutchen trying to get the ball in, but too much speed on the bases as Ozzie was running from first all the way in.
Well, here's Chris Barnwell now, and a 6-2 PCL lead. They're trying to snap this 2-game losing streak against the IL. Glad you're with us tonight for the AAA All-Star game from Louisville, Kentucky and Louisville Slugger Field. Jim Kelch along with Eduardo Perez, Jonathan Mayo down below. Reminder that coming up next, Wednesday night fights presented by Just for Men Hair Color. Strike on the inside corner, 1-1.
Well, you see when starters come in relief like this, you don't know how loose Mock has been, but he did not make the pitch he wanted against Ellis. Ellis was able to take advantage of it.
PCL is hit around here in the top of the 9th inning. Hard hit to left, but that's going to be the 2nd out. Caught out there by Jonathan Van Every. Even that ball, Eduardo, was hit right on the nose.
Well, they're seeing the ball well right now as you see Stavinoa coming back to the plate. He was the one that started this whole mess for the International League, and in the PCL, he's been the jump starter for him.
Stavinoa, you talked about earlier, made his big league debut this season with a caught looking against John Lester. Pretty tough guy to face. And then came back later in that same game and had a base hit against John Lester the 22nd of June. Went 1 for 6 in his first big league contest. Waves at that one and doesn't get it for a strike. He's an interesting player, isn't he? Because he's a 7th round pick in '05 out of LSU, a former long snapper of the University of Houston football team, and yet only in his 4th year of professional baseball he's made it to the big leagues.
Stavinoa from Cajun country over there, and he's got a good eye. You saw that swing was off balance, but don't let that fool you. He only has a few strikeouts, 39 this season, and 338 plate appearances. And you got to like what you see. He's played the outfield this year, and he's been a valuable asset to the Memphis Cardinal team.
Well, he's made a great adjustment from one year to the next in terms of AAA. Last year's first AAA year, he hit .261. This year, he's 3rd in the league in hitting at the break at .344.
And that's what you want to see, development, and it all has to do with him putting the ball in play. And Memphis, a good place to hit. It's not really, a lot of guys love hitting there. It's a hitter's ballpark, but you got to concentrate. I played there for a few years, and great town, a great environment, and he's really taken to it there in Memphis and trying to take into St. Louis in the near future.
3 balls and 1 strike. And he bounces this ball to 3rd. Hessman, who's played the entire game, will make the play, and finally devastating top of the 9th inning for the IL is over as they score 6 times as their bats come alive. Hit after hit after hit after hit here in the top of the 9th inning, and they go into the bottom half leading now 6-2.
This is a place where good ideas and good decisions gain traction and put an urban transformation in motion. It's the moment when goodness rises to greatness. The change is dramatic, and the air is electric with a dawning recognition of what it means. Oklahoma City will never be the same. Who said it was okay to leave change sitting around? Hanging out in jars, lying under cushions with old French fries. This is America. Do we let the sun just shine or the wind just blow? No, we put them to work. With Bank of America's Keep the Change, every check card purchase is rounded up and the change slides from your checking to savings. So far, our customers have saved over $1 billion. Wouldn't you like to have a slice of that? You can with Bank of America, Bank of Opportunity.
There's a New Orleans, baby. The quarters jumping, the music's thumping. Come out and play in New Orleans. We're rolling out the red paddle wheel, painting portraits in the square. You got a pot of gumbo, need some streetcar fare. Come out and play in New Orleans. Pack your bags, come out and play in New Orleans.
No runs on the board for the PCL team through 8, but a big 6th spot in the top of the 9th inning. They've evened up this game in hits at 8, but more importantly, they now lead 6-2 going into the bottom of the 9th inning with the devastating right-handed Luis Pena on the mound. And there's a look at that PCL dugout. You know, these guys know each other from playing against one another, but don't know each other for the most part that well. But boy, they were all up there rooting, weren't they?
Oh, yes, they were. Even though they haven't been together all season, when I went into that clubhouse today, these guys were playing cards amongst themselves. They were sitting around talking baseball, and that's what you like to see. This is the environment that the All-Star game brings. It brings guys that compete on a daily basis together, and it's just fun to watch.
And Luis Pena, who has only 1 win this year, is the pitcher of record now in this game. He won a game back on the 30th of June against Memphis for the Nashville Sounds, and he's the pitcher of record now as he works here in the bottom of the ninth.
Well, right now the International League, they have to go out there and take a strike. They know the numbers. They've seen them of Luis Pena, and they know that he's vulnerable to giving up walks, and if they can at least put the pressure on him to throw strikes, this international team might still have a chance.
Well, they scored their 2 in the bottom of the 7th, the PCL 6 in the top of the 9th, and now at 3-0, Bixler takes a strike, 3-1. He's 0 for 3 tonight.
Got to give a lot of credit to Kevin Causey behind the plate. We haven't even had a discrepancy in any of the calls. He's shown a lot of consistency behind the plate. No hitter has really looked back and said, whoa, what was up with that?
That there was a broken bat single in the left by Brian Bixler, and so the PCL, which started their 6-run uprising in the top of the inning with a base hit by Stavanoa, the IL starts the bottom of the 9th with a base hit by Bixler.
Well, if you're going to break a bat, you're in the right place. You're in Louisville. All you got to do is go down the street and grab a couple more bats. So
call your guy, Danny Luckett.
Absolutely, Danny Luckett. Get that lathe ready, baby.
Yeah, Brian Bixler may be on his way down. Here's Joe Thurston, owner of 2 hits tonight and a walk, and now an owner of the 3rd hit in this game as he singles into left center, and Bixler turns the corner quickly. He'll head to 3rd, and the IL says we are not done yet.
Absolutely, the fans feel it right now, and they're putting the pressure on as McCutcheon's about to take the plate. But great base running by Bixler as he goes from 1st to 3rd, knowing that Stavanoa had no chance of throwing to 3rd, even though he's going to keep the double play in order and throw to 2nd.
But his momentum was carrying him toward left center field, so there's no way he's going to be able to get much on the throw. And here's Joe Thurston.
See Thurston right here. Everybody thinks he's going to take a strike, and he goes after that first pitch like he did in his 2nd at bat and hit it over the shortstop's head.
McCutcheon into right will get a run home. This is going to be a sacrifice fly as the right fielder makes the catch, and here comes the runner to the plate, Bixler. 6-3 now, but from a PCL standpoint, one of the 3 outs gone by the wayside.
That's all you need. You need just to keep that guy on deck, not to score. Right now you have a home run threat, but you just have to worry about getting an out, not worrying about anything else, as Luis Pena has been doing that so far.
Mike Hespin, the batter now. Tying run is on deck in the person of Chris Carter. Hespin with 3 strikeouts and a ground out. He's nothing out of 4. He'd like to repeat what he did last year when he homered in that 1st inning.
Well, they have to make Luis Pena throw strikes. Right now, it's not the time to go after the first pitch. Even though Thurston did get a hit, you saw McCutcheon went after the first pitch. When you're down by 4 runs, you have to put the pressure on the pitcher. You have to make him get you out. And so far, these hitters are just free swinging right now, and it all depends on what Dave Miley has told them to do.
1 ball and 1 strike to Mike Hespin. Talked at the top of the broadcast. He's closing in on 300 career home runs, 8 of them in the major leagues, 284 in the minor leagues. He waves at that one and doesn't get it, and he's at 1-2.
Well, that's a tough pitch to catch up to. That's a 99-mile-per-hour out of the zone pitch, up in the zone. Not a lot of people can really get a bat on that. Maybe like a Gary Sheffield or something with that, with his bat speed.
Got him. Came right back with the same pitch.
Unbelievable. That pitch right there didn't even register on the top, but that was all he had right there. Just cheese right by him.
There's another pitcher with that violent body movement toward the plate. But on that pitch, great location. And again, Hespin just could not catch up to it. So now down to their last out. The International League. Chris Carter up there. And he strokes this ball in the center. Hit very well. Near the wall. Gone. A home run.
Chris Carter jumps after the first pitch. and hits it over the 405 sign. This ballpark plays a lot bigger than 405. And Chris Carr showing his pop right there. Gotta love what you see out of the International League team. You see the pitch right there, right down the middle, misses his spot on the outer part. Gets that foot down, gets the extension, drives with the legs, and Nelson Cruz, which started the game at center field, had no chance of getting that ball right there.
19 home runs during the season thus far for Chris Carter, and a big one here against Luis Pena in the bottom of the ninth, making it a one-run game for Jonathan Van Every, who has taken a called third strike in each of his 2 times up there thus far. So Eduardo, kind of odd, isn't it, that on both sides, Neal and Pena, the closers, the hard-throwing closers, both have been touched up by these good bats on these 2 teams.
Both of them have been touched up as the distance went 422. That's what they had it as. That ball's hit well, but I do not think it's going anywhere.
Stavanoa is there, and he makes the catch of that mile-high fly ball. And that's the game, and the PCL breaks a 2-game losing streak to the IL by winning tonight by the final score. For Eduardo Perez and Jonathan Mayo. Eduardo, a 2-0 game after 8, but all of a sudden all the scoring in this game in the 9th inning.
And all the scoring out of the closers from both teams, Blaine Neal and also Luis Pena. But these teams, that the important thing is they battled. They did not give up at any time. They really had a good time out here. They played as a team and they won as a team. And that's exactly what you want out of the competition here at the AAA All-Star Game. We saw a lot of pitching and a lot of hitting.
All right, for Eduardo Perez and Jonathan Mayo, I'm Jim Kelch. Thanks for joining us for the 2008 AAA All-Star Game. Once again, our final score, the PCL 6, the IL 5. Coming up next, Wednesday Night Fights, presented by Just for Men Hair Color. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.